Stream. There we are. Had to reboot the phone, had to reboot the internet. The internet's not back up and running yet, so we're streaming off the phone. We might have to take a break later, I don't know, or at least plug in the phone. I see we got Mandy, we got Landon Classic Customs, we got Picking with Pickle. Not sure some of these. Dongtiv Vlog TV. I saw a message from you earlier today, dude. I can't even pronounce some of these. In Your Nightmare. But anyway, we got plenty of people on. Got 5 people on right now. But anyway, can y'all hear me? Somebody leave that in the comments. I planned on going in today and changing some of the banners. Don't forget to hit the like button. We'll go ahead and show that banner. And go back to comments. Landon, did you want to jump on? Pickle, can you jump on? Yes, I was running late. Like I said, I had to reboot everything. Even the laptop had to be rebooted. So I was still cooking. I did manage to fix my pellet grill today. I'm glad I decided to stick with my guns and check the polarity. Because I live in a camper. It has 12-volt charge outlets here and there within the camper. And there's one near my door in the kitchen. And the first time I plugged it into a pellet grill, it fried the motherboard of the pellet grill. So what it did is I've never used that particular outlet for a pellet grill since. Hey, Pickle!
Hey, how's it going?
We're doing good. Sweating, but that's only because I've been running around. Hey, Mater's on too. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you just fine, but
okay.
I couldn't.
Mater says he sees my lips moving. He's probably pulling a prank on me because I asked if y'all can hear me. That sounds like Mater. What time is it there, Pickle?
It's 9:40.
Goodness, it's late.
Yep.
Yes, sir. You have some stories to tell us.
Stories.
I think I was on somebody else's live, or it may have been mine. You jumped in and said y'all were coming back from an emergency room.
Oh, yeah, that's that.
You fell off a ladder, but that's all we got out of you.
Yeah, it's nothing serious. I went because my sister had to go anyway. It was.
Do what?
I was fine. My sister had to go to the ER that day, but she had headaches and stuff, and we can't get appointments here with doctors because the medical system is just crazy right now.
Social health care, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Landon's
free health care. You'll be on the waiting list for 3 years.
Right.
Hey,
Landon. We got Landon's Custom Classics. Oh, let's go back to the other. How do we have that?
There you go.
There we go. That works. And let's see. It's that way for me. How about you? Can you get it, Pickle?
Yeah.
Look down at him. Come on. Oh, Pickle's got it. He's good at that. And then Landon, can you figure out who's who I'm looking up?
Yeah.
Okay. Close enough. So this first time I've had Landon's Custom Classics on our stream. Picking with Pickle's probably been on almost all my live streams, with the exception of the one where you were going to the emergency room. But you said, how far is the emergency room from you?
Half hour.
Oh, that's close. That's not bad.
Not too bad. But
Mater says it's going to be a few minutes before he can make it to the garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I was cooking a little bit and running around. I come in here about 20 minutes early and set up the laptop and went back about doing what I was doing and come back in here and realized it still didn't hook up to the internet. We had a power outage here yesterday. Affected not just my camper, but the entire building and half the street. By the time I got my generator out, fueled up, ready to start, the power came back on. I'm actually still charging because my generator has a pull start, but also has an electric start. And so I thought, where we live at, it's 45 minutes to the nearest emergency room. That's what Mandy's commenting on.
Okay,
But so I'm trying to charge a battery so the electric start will still work on it too. What I discovered yesterday was my generator will still run on propane, but will not currently run on gasoline. Thinking we have some jets that are clogged in the carburetor. I've had that happen to generators that sit for a while. I thought it was storing that thing bone dry for gasoline, and I pulled it out the other day, and it was pretty much a full tank. So
yeah, I recently just went through the carb on my old EX650. I got an real old generator. It was my grandfather's.
Was that early Honda?
Yeah.
I've seen that video.
Yeah, my grandfather bought that new like way back in the early '80s sometime, and it's been in our family since then. So yeah, and it's still going.
Still runs.
Still runs. So.
That being said, I think that was the second video I watched on your channel. I think the first one was you were going in there to play with the goats or feed the goats or let them out, or you had goats, and I was like, I thought this was a car channel.
The big move that's going to happen, sadly, but you know,
I get it. We all have extracurriculars within our channel. Yesterday, I took a 15-second video of a frog, got 500 views, or thereabouts. I was like, hey, 15-second video, 500 views. You know, it's something.
Hey, yeah, that's right. It all adds up.
Okay. Is this someone you know, Landon?
Yeah, that's my best friend, Cheryl.
Okay. Hi, Astra. Is it Cheryl Elastra?
Elastra. Yeah.
Elastra.
Excuse me.
Okay. Pink hand waving. So, I see you've got some classics. I want to say like Landon, tell us about some of your project cars. I want to say it's like a Thunderbird or something, old Ford, maybe a Falcon.
62 Ford Thunderbird.
62.
Yeah.
I saw the sketch of it, and I was like, that's like a 63. I drove a 65 Mustang back in high school, and one of my buddies that used to park beside me, he had an original 63, still had the original paint, original engine, all original interior, and the previous owner, one of the previous owners, had got caught robbing a liquor store. And they shot at the car, the liquor store owner shot at the car with the .357 revolver and put several dents and bullet holes through the front fenders. And the old American steel, it didn't puncture the fenders every shot. So it had some nice, just deep pock marks where the .357 left like cartoonish little stretched holes in the fenders. Like I said, they weren't fully holes through the fenders in some cases, but they were nice little stretch marks.
Yeah,
but the police were able to identify that was the car from the robbery by those bullet marks. That car was an impound, and his dad bought it from the police impound yard.
Yeah, they don't make them used to. I mean, what, 18, 16 gauge steel back in the day for body panels.
Pretty good stuff, I'm sure.
22 gauge, it's thin now.
Yeah, you got to think. They say a .357 revolver can crack an engine block. But at the distance that they were at when the liquor store owner shot the car, it didn't even penetrate the fender in most cases. So,
yeah, exactly. It's only at the end of the day.
Hi, Neverboard. Where's Neverboard?
Hey, Neverboard.
I'm guessing Neverboard C10's on here somewhere. There he is. Neverboard C10 addict. Sup, guys?
I got a cool project too that I'm waiting to announce.
Well, can you kind of give some feelers, or
I don't know if I should. I'm not sure.
I think 6% was hinting about it a while back.
He was. See, the deal
mostly
is
old parts and rust. See that? I think that would be a great collab if me and Mostly Old Parts and Rust did a collaboration video, because it'd be mostly old parts and rust and cinder blocks and jack stands. There's no denying that you're just working on junk. And that's what we all love to work on, right? That's what everybody's here to watch. So.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh, Mater's up. Now we're going to have
hey,
get closer to the Brady Bunch if we can get 6 on here.
Oh,
What's up, Mater?
Not much.
no,
Man, y'all missed a good live stream last night.
What's that?
y'all missed a good live stream last night.
I didn't have power last night.
Yeah.
That's not my fault.
Yeah, well, I have to blame the local power company for that. The whole side of the street where I'm on was out, but not the whole block.
Well,
So-
I wound up getting something last night that I've never gotten before. I'm now monetized, and I got my first set of super chats.
Super chat.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you broke your 3,000 hours, huh?
I've actually been over 4,500 for over a year.
You just got your first super chat, though.
Well, I got 5 of them last night, but
That's awesome.
Thank you. They actually sent out the
Congratulations.
rolling that out where if you've got at least 500 subs, 3,000 watch hours, and at least 3 videos, that they can get you monetized up to a certain point. And
At least you can get super chats.
I can get super chats, and I've actually got memberships now.
There you go. So
Awesome.
people can pay memberships and they can super chat. At the
And
3,000 plus hours with 500 plus subscribers.
Yep.
So I'm at 680 something on the subs, but I barely cracked 1,000 hours earlier, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And the only reason I'm cracking that is because of the live streams.
Yeah.
People will
That's
watch
Gotcha.
a little bit of my videos, but they don't watch enough of the videos, or I don't have enough people watching the whole video. So,
I've got videos out there that,
hey Zach,
matter of fact, I've got one short one that's not even 5 minutes. It's already over 1.3K views. And
there
then
you go.
I've got another one that I did about a month ago that's got almost 1,500 views. And it's like, these are just short ones that I'm doing. But
Yeah.
and Harbor Freight.
Yeah,
So dealing with
you're
Harbor
rating
Freight.
tools, right?
Well, believe it or not, the one I wound up doing Sunday, it is a tool, but it's not an automotive tool.
Tool's a tool to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
I got to use them all. I got
Like-
work. I do stuff on here that's body paint and body that I might use stuff from work and vice versa.
Yeah, but this tool here is not something you would ever think of as a tool. And it's something I was doing the other day, and it's like, this right here, what I have on my hand, is the most common. It's the one item that I've actually bought from Harbor Freight. I use on a daily basis, every single day. That was one of the ceramic kitchen knives.
I had one of those, and I made the mistake of leaving it at home with the wife. And I think she used it to cut bricks or chicken bones or something. I come back, and it had not just chips in it; it had gouges that were, it wasn't repairable. I did my best to sharpen it back up, and I think I took a round file to kind of just sharpen the nicks and make it look like a serrated blade. But
Okay, that's where you made the mistake at. You actually have to, in order to sharpen a ceramic knife, you have to have a diamond hone.
Yeah. You gotta use the diamond stone.
I do have the round diamond files. The small
but
ones.
but you actually have to use a flat one.
Okay. Well, I mean, it wasn't repairable either way. Mandy got a hold of it. Sorry, Mandy.
Believe it or
Uh,
not, you probably could have if you had the right hone and everything for it. Now, it would have been smaller and everything, but yeah, you could have fixed it.
if y'all read this comment, I have the follow-up comment. I have a 89 Supra that's at the house, and Tom actually remembers me from when I was in the Army and was working on that Supra. And then there's my wife's comment.
I like carbon steel knives. They're carbon steel's more brittle, but they tend to hold the edge really well. So whenever I have an old school nice carbon steel knife, I will keep it and hold on to that one.
I have to go run and grab burgers off the grill. I'll be right back.
But what really got me was the fact I knew about ceramic knives and everything because they've been on the market for 10, 15 years at least, if not more.
Long time now.
But for a good set of them, you're looking at about $500 to $700 for a good quality set. But then it's just a fact, like any new tool that comes out on the market. Good example, LED lights. Okay, when LED lights first came out years ago, I walked into my Home Depot. I was looking at $40 to $50 for one 60-watt light bulb. For one. And the guy told me, he said, don't buy them right now. He said, by the time the technology catches up, the price is going to plummet to where it's going to be worth buying. And then within a couple of years, you could buy a 4-pack of them for maybe $10.
Yeah, they're still pretty pricey around here, actually, to be honest. But we have a lot of our taxes are high here on everything we buy. The HST, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's the thing, I mean, what really got me was I think $6.99 for that one knife I used. That's a 5-inch.
I don't know. You can't argue that.
No, and the bad part is they actually clearanced them out, and they've already gotten away from them. But now they do actually have that diamond hone at Harbor Freight.
Yeah, I that's the thing I'm finding now. It's hard to get good stones or hones or to sharpen knives. I always find they don't last very long. They get valleys in them, or gouges. They just don't hold up like they used to one time.
Right. But like I said, like I was explaining to him, like if he had that, say like that one that Harbor Freight's got, he could have put taken his time and put another nice flat straight edge on it and got rid of all those nicks and gouges. It wouldn't have been as wide, as originally, but would have actually had it back down to what it was supposed to have been.
Yeah. Man, they like your Supra.
And Mandy would have been happy again.
They do like that Supra, and East Coast Ken's probably never seen even pictures of it because I don't think I've included a single picture of that in my intro or anywhere on the channel.
I think they're cool, but they're not my thing personally.
Well, Tom actually knows I went to School of Automotive Machinists before building the motor in that car. So if there's a mod that can make it last longer or make more power, I probably did it because that was my motor going in my car.
Now, what engine you got in that Supra?
Do what?
What engine is in it?
It's the 7M GTE. So it's an inline 6 turbo, single turbo, but the 7M motors are a cam on bucket, so they don't have a rocker. Very easy to set the lash on, and the lash doesn't change very much. So I was impressed with those motors. I think I mentioned it in one of my other lives before.
That's when you got caught with that speeding ticket over in Germany on the Autobahn.
I did do double the speed limit and only got like a $40 fine. I also was working at a mechanic shop while I was going to automotive machinist school, and the mechanic shop had me do the valve lash adjustment for their customer, and only a few of the buckets needed maybe a thousandth or so adjustment on the cam buckets.
Right.
And I think they had me do the timing belt and some of the other maintenances to that car as well. And guess who got to test drive it after all the maintenance was done? And I was like, oh, I have to own one of these one day. And so when I got to Germany, I got the opportunity to own one. I told that part of the story. So Landon, let's hear some more stories out of you, brother. Welcome to the live stream. You're here.
Wake up over there.
Premiere tonight. I was getting more subscribers.
We all need more subscribers.
695 now, so almost 700.
What's the number?
You're at 695.
You are?
So I got you a few today.
Oh, thank you. I thought you were saying you were at 695.
I'm almost to 3K, and I'm going to do a giveaway.
Really?
But I'm gonna do a premiere later. I'm pulling a C6 out of a pickup my brother has, transmission
Nice.
and put in my T-Bird. So I'm gonna have to tear the entire T-Bird down and go through it. I got some issues going on, leaky exhaust manifold with the bolts broke off in the head, and got some transmission issues. It doesn't shift unless it's warm, then it doesn't shift right. The old Ford Cruise-O-Matic, so old slosh box. So we're gonna replace all that, probably switch it over to a console shift and all that. So it's a fun project.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I'm at 96, I think. Four shy of 100.
Dude, that first 100's the hardest. It really is.
Yep.
It took me years to get to the first 100, and it took probably close to 7 or 8 months of just posting videos of that retarded ass truck right there, as often as I could, and as often as I could post videos of that. Finally, November 2 years ago, I finally hit my first 100. By the end of last year, I'd made it to just shy of 500 by the end of December, and here we are at 680 something now. So,
Nice.
Yeah, it seems like
I've
once
been on
you get the 100, you're not going.
Yeah, I hit 13 months today, and I have 2,914.
Wow.
So
Wow. Go let him,
I've been doing it now for almost 3 years now, and I'm at, I think, 539. Let me double check.
539.
Yeah, I'm at 539 subs. Which, I mean,
yeah, my cousin.
I'm not complaining.
No, I'm not either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
my
all want
cousin
more.
Barrow's garage.
We all need more.
I mean, I joined February the 8th of 2023, so I'd say I'm doing pretty good if I'm almost at 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty new to all this.
Yeah. Well, I'm still new to it.
Barrow's garage is my cousin.
Oh, okay.
And he told me to get on YouTube, and he said he got like 45 subs his first year, and I hit 1,000 in 3 months. So
Wow.
You had the
doing something
formula.
right, I guess.
Yeah.
But
It's all dealing with the content as far as what the subscribers you're going after.
yeah,
I mean, there's different genres out there that you can get a lot of people to join, to start going to you, depending upon what you're doing. I mean, I know it's some of the big ones is, of course, tools and everything. If that's what you're dealing with, is tools. Anything with the firearm community, coins, that's big. And also dealing, believe it or not, with yarn.
Really?
Cards?
With yarn.
Oh, yarn.
Start
Yeah.
crocheting, guys.
Yeah.
In Afghan.
Well, luckily for me, I don't have to, because my girlfriend, she's into that. So everybody she knows, she's been bringing over to my channel.
Nice.
Yeah. I can give you one hint about the new project.
What's that?
I said I can give you one hint with the project that I have upcoming that I'm really
Okay.
excited.
What's the hint about your project?
The Ford.
It's a Ford.
That's as much as I can tell you, though, without giving it
Can you
away.
put a flathead in it?
What? Can I put a flathead in it?
Like a flathead V8 that we've seen on your channel?
Oh, no. That thing's never going in anything again.
Make it a coffee table. Just leave it as is.
Yeah, that's what my plan is. I won't be doing it right now too really badly, but I don't have the time for it with me moving. But I probably end up. I got to make a trip back here anyway, probably next year, and I'll end up going and getting it then. As you know, I'm crazy.
Pickle, is it,
Where's it buried at?
I don't. It's out on the old railway track. I don't know. It's been there a long time.
Over on the old railroad track.
Yeah.
but my question, Pickle, I mean, are you finally coming to your senses and going to trade it in for a Dodge?
No.
I thought that's what Ford stood for, is fucked up old rebuilt Dodge.
It's found on the road dead.
Oh,
Flip
Cheryl.
over redirection. First directions don't flip over.
What doesn't flip over?
If there's flip over redirection and the first directions don't flip over.
Don't flip over.
Mine's older than the Bronco too.
Older than the Bronco too.
Yeah. A lot older.
Well, it's a lot older than you for sure.
Oh yeah, it's like yeah, a lot older. Than
He's a kid. Yeah.
I mean,
Well, yeah, you're being Bear Rose's cousin. I'm sure you've been on some of the lives with him. Then,
Yeah.
I've seen you on some of the lives, and every time I get a chance, I try to go find some of the people, the names in the comments or the links that they shared, and go find them. And not only do I subscribe, I watch a couple videos, comment on the videos, because that helps the algorithm know that it's not just a click and subscribe. I'm not clicking subscribe and running. I'm actually viewing some videos. I'm commenting on the videos. I'm there,
Right.
because I've seen, maybe a 5 or 10 new subscribers on a live stream. Get up the next morning, I got 6.
Yeah.
Goes from 10 to 6. The algorithm's robbing some of those subscribers away.
Yep.
And I know they do it on the gun channels all the time. I've had to resubscribe to the same channel 6 times at least.
Yep. I bet there was actually someone up in Canada that I was trying to figure out why I wasn't getting notification, and come to find out, it showed I wasn't even subscribed to him anymore. Like, what? So I had to go back in and redo all that.
no, it's not a Ford Focus. A lot older than a Ford Focus, Mandy.
Yeah. My wife, she doesn't like her own voice on video, so
To be fair, who does?
I've had to learn to deal with it. Actually was a radio station DJ at an AM radio station for about 1.5 years.
Cool.
And
Just go get her one of those little voice boxes that changes.
I've told her we could get some sort of audio filter, change it by half an octave or something, or tell her sing. She's got a beautiful singing voice.
Does.
Did you see Pickle's face when you said AM radio? He was kind of like, "What's that?"
I know what it is. Hey,
I'm glad you noticed. I'll have to watch.
Like,
What is this? 27 minutes in. Somebody put a ticker here so I can remember to go look back and find that tomorrow.
I'm only 18 years old there, Landon, but I know what AM FM radio is. Okay.
This kid is old beyond his years. I don't know. I mean, he's one of those kids. He's over. Hang on. He's over there.
Stereo though. I have a radio that plays music on stainless steel wire.
Wow.
It uses the wire to play the music.
Yeah.
I have cassette tapes and records, and
Yeah.
I've never had an 8-track, but I know what it is. I've had it all. I've no AM FM. I had a.
Does anybody have a working 8-track player? I have a bunch of really good old, like the original, like Waylon Jennings, and
I actually
some of those 8-tracks.
I have a whole collection of 8-track players. I have a
working 8-track player.
Still in the box.
We got to talk later.
Montgomery Ward.
You know something? A lot of times they're jack
yeah,
stand. It's just the belts inside they rot away. I've taken one apart before and replaced the little rubber belts. It worked great.
Okay. Oh, we lost Landon. Hopefully he'll come back to us.
Yeah.
I hear him say he's got some from Monkey Ward's.
Monkey Wards, yeah, Montgomery Wards. Dates back to when people could just go order stuff and not online but mail order. Hey, he's back.
There she is. Look at that thing.
That must be one of the infamous 8-track players.
This was one of my first ones.
Does that let you select which track you're playing off that knobs? Oh, that's the speakers. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it splits into 2 speakers and it has the player built in.
Wow. And so knowing what
batteries too.
Even Pickle was just commenting that it's usually just the belt inside of them that goes out. So we might be able to clean the heads on one and peeking to see if it needs a belt, and I think we might have one or two that I've saved. I know I've saved some old VCRs because I still have a collection of old VCR tapes.
I
You'll
like
know.
to find someone
Yeah,
who's got a beta still working. I forgot.
We
my
had a
old-
beta player when yeah.
I have a huge vinyl collection too. My grandfather gave me all their vinyl records, like from the '60s, and I have one. The oldest one I have, I believe, is dated 1943.
Wow.
Yeah.
That has purely acoustical instruments on it, I bet.
Oh yeah, it's. I think it's actually a country, if I remember correctly. It's like, yeah, it's weird.
My dad actually, I discovered the records in the attic when I was in maybe intermediate or junior high school, and literally set up the record player in the attic and would sit up there in the heat playing the records. And now, decades later, my dad has actually burned all of his old vinyl.
What?
Just devil music.
Hey, back then.
Which makes all the rest of the vinyl records worth that much more. Ray Stevens. There we go.
Ray Stevens,
Yeah.
boogity boogity.
When I worked at the AM radio station, that's what brought this whole thing up. We used to actually record commercials onto recordable 8-tracks.
Really?
And,
Wow.
and if I didn't have, say, like the weather guy called in early to give us the weather report, and it wasn't quite time for his weather break, I would just record it onto an 8-track and then play it back when it was time.
That's awesome.
Breaking the chains.
I wish I had my collection out, but I got it all packed up now. Excuse me.
Well, store them in the best possible way you can.
I always
Yeah.
keep them up on their ends, like they always say, and in the package.
We probably need to bring the 8-tracks and put them inside the house, not in the attic. But right now they're in my shop at the house, and it's unair conditioned. It doesn't even have dehumidifiers most of the time, but
That ain't
it's
good.
at least in the shade, and it's not in an attic.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you gotta keep the vinyl away from heat because they will warp.
Oh, definitely.
Like
Oh,
that. It's like a banana. It still plays somehow. It's a mystery to this day. I don't know.
They have some speed changes to them. Which,
Yeah.
if you're good with a video or audio editing software, you could probably clean that up. But it still leaves the snaps and pops.
Wish I had a replacement one because it's by the Irish Rovers. The album is called The Unicorn, and I really like it. It's one of my favorites. But yeah, she's pretty warped up when I got it.
I've got
Yeah.
3 albums myself that in my collection, and I don't play them. I never have, and it's only because of what they are. And the weird thing about it is all 3 of them are identical. It's the first album, first pressing, white label promo for Kiss.
Oh, neat.
Really, that is awesome.
And the reason I went after them, because I'm a big Kiss fan. I mean, I've
I
seen
am
them
too.
multiple times and met the guys. But some fact is, the first album only came out with 9 songs on it. First pressing is the only way you'll find that, either in the original blue label, which is the original, or in the white label promo. Second pressing onward has got 10 songs on it. Wow. So when they get the second pressing to this
Had more
day,
songs.
even if you go get a CD, it's going to have 10 songs. But it's only that first pressing has only got 9.
I have one vinyl that's unopened and it has never been opened. And
Unopened.
Unopened. Still has the plastic wrapper around the actual like cardboard sleeve.
I've seen some with the plastic wrapper still on them, but they're usually cut open. And I've
This
seen
one-
some of those even at garage sales out here.
I believe it's by Neil Diamond, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure. So
I
that's
have
the
a
only.
good few 8-tracks that are still sealed.
Well, that's
I
awesome.
feel, let's see, I've got the first Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets on DVD that's still sealed up from the factory.
Yeah.
That's
Anything
a little easier because it's newer.
But one of these days I'll probably pop her open or something because I'm not about just looking at it. I want to listen to it. That's what it's for. So
That's what I say on a vinyl. I don't know if it really protects the value any to be still sealed.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
it
really in it
does.
for value.
It depends upon the art. Now, depending upon the artist and which album.
And maybe even the album art.
Right. I mean, there's going to be albums out there that it's just the artwork and everything on it that is going to command the price. You're going to have 3 albums by an artist. 2 of them might be just so-so, but then you've got one out there that the price on it, because the artwork or certain songs on it, that's what's going to make it up there.
Yeah. I don't think I have any that are worth money, as far as I know.
how it works.
Megazord, no, I didn't. At the time, I got a chance to meet the guys. Mind you, this was back in the late 80s, early 90s, and so the internet wasn't really around, and I didn't have a way of. I didn't know about eBay, and that's how I found all these albums.
We were building up to eBay and stuff back then.
Yeah. But I
remember I got real big into eBay while I was still in Germany. And that was around 04, 03, 04, 05 maybe.
And I was already into eBay probably.
I was aware of it before that, but while I was there, I was buying stuff at on Post. They had places where you could go buy parts off of other people's wrecked cars.
Nice.
And we'd strip parts and sell them on eBay because BMW parts sell real well if you know what car it goes to and what parts those other car, all of them are inline, or a good chunk of them were inline 6s. So we'd cross-reference, figure out because Google was alive and working back then, and we'd Google that and then figure out what cars those parts would fit, and list it all in the description on the eBay, because back then eBay wasn't so great at telling you what parts fit what.
True.
I like eBay, but the shipping is a lot here in Canada.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Shipping, it depends upon where the person is and what country they're actually located in. I mean, I'm still buying stuff off of eBay. Matter of fact, this little
Hey, 6%.
but this little diesel heater I got, I got 3 parts from the same person, and I think total shipping was maybe $10 for everything.
Because you got all the parts from the same person too.
Correct.
Need some
But,
snake skins.
In Rolex parts.
Or now Mandy was saying that, I understand
She
that
does her
deals
wood pins
with,
and Rolexes and stuff. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, I take it that she likes dealing with the gun shows from her comment earlier. Oh, she'd love a couple that I've got. I picked up a model 1917. Was it 30-06 Winchester?
Awesome.
That's what I
Hey,
hunt
they don't
with.
make those no more.
Well, considering the fact that was actually what was produced for the GIs in World War One.
Right?
Because you had I think
Awesome rifle.
3 companies that made that rifle, a little bolt action rifle, and Winchester happened to be one of them, and they happened to make the least amount of them.
Oh, so Winchester made the fewest of them for the government. So picking up one of those, you got one of the rare models, and it's one of the more infamous brands.
Yep. And then I've also got picked up an Arasaka Type 99.
Come, Jim.
Don't even say it, Andy.
This one here is dated 1941, so it's an early World War II model. And
Early World War II model.
Yeah, and chrysanthemum only has an X through it. It's not been ground out. They only did it.
I knew she was going to go there. She's going to say it. I'll beat her
Yeah.
to it, or she can type it. The very first Arasaka that I purchased was one that the chrysanthemum is not defaced any at all because it was a Russian capture.
Ah,
And we bought it directly from the importer that had imported it to the United States decades before. And that importer we'd bought a lot of stuff from. But that was one of the first Arasakas that I bought, and probably the one I will probably never sell.
right.
I did find when I was cleaning out a work truck to go to Canada, one of the things they tell you, make sure there's not so much as one piece of a firearm, no firearms, no brass, no ammunition in your vehicle before you try to go to Canada. If they find so much as one piece of brass, you're going to get turned back at the border, and you might not ever get a chance to go back. And so I was pulling a work truck completely apart. Lo and behold, guess what I found in the back seat, in the seat back pocket? A bolt from a last-ditched Arasaka.
Ooh,
So instead of it having the fancy milling and engraving in it,
right.
it was just barely stick welded.
Yeah, we're pretty strict about guns up here for whatever reason.
What's that?
I said, yeah, we're pretty strict about guns up here for whatever reason.
Yeah,
you're the no fun
if
country.
you declare a weapon and you have the right paperwork, you can go hunting there.
Yeah.
Woo. What did he do?
She's funny that way. She knows the collector value of stuff
Sure.
and finds the right collector to locate to it.
That is
Uh,
so. Yeah, I would love to have a Luger. I think they're the coolest pistol ever.
Yep.
And she's also part Jewish, so that dirty bird means nothing to her other than dollar signs that she could sell it for.
I had
I
a
got a
chance
brass
to buy
here.
one. They actually had one that
Holy
Ooh.
crap! That's a brass.
That's the
Yeah.
brass.
Hmm.
The big one.
what is that, about a 5-inch?
Oh.
What does that go to?
I'm not sure what that one's to. I had some 105 ones around because I was in first special ops down at Herbert Field with the 130 gunchips. I got another little toy over here too.
We finally got him to talk.
Oh, a
Hey,
motor-
look at that.
That's a cute little birdie.
Pretty cool.
That's a birdie until she's not a birdie no more.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
that'll
I
fit inside the other casing.
I'd say it's a birdie because it flies.
It will fly until it's not.
just got back from doing a shop tour of a Michigan military museum tonight, and one of the things I was able to film was an Oerlikon.
Ooh, nice.
Operational or
It appears operational and have all the springs in it. It's in a
Gotcha.
museum, so he basically had it made out of 5 parts guns. So
Hey, Ed.
hey?
Hey, Ed.
yeah, well, an Oerlikon is a
Interesting
20
shot.
millimeter anti-aircraft cannon. That's, for lack of a better description.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're cannons. They're Oerlikons. They're not rifled barrels. Mandy, Ed's machine. I believe he's up in Idaho as well. Am I wrong?
Arkansas.
Arkansas. Okay.
Yeah.
I was watching one of his videos the other day. He has an old Sioux, slightly more modern Sioux valve grinder than the one I have, and he's still using that joker.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and I was mentioning about that to him in that video, or no,
comment.
it was a different one. But yeah, it's like, man, that's kind of a discussion that my girlfriend and I were in earlier today. Is that that's the only drawback right now is a lot of your machine shops are disappearing because it's basically just the older generation that grew up doing it, and the new generation basically doesn't want to get into it.
Well, it's now you can manufacture a new replacement part cheaper than it can be refurbished or remanufactured or machined
Right.
sometimes.
Right.
And of course, during the last epidemic, the part shortages has really messed them up too.
Well,
So-
like one of the things I was talking with Crystal earlier is, say I go up here to Summit and I buy a set of heads and everything for $1,200, but they're not machined the way I want them. Okay. So what do? And she's going, well, just buy one that is. I go, but if nobody does it like that, then I can't get them the way I want them. So I would actually have to go and find a machine shop that would actually do it to my specifications. And I remember, years ago, like on a small engine, you had guys that were, doing all the machine work on all the small engines, like the lawnmowers and stuff like that. Nowadays, I got one that's about 25 minutes from me. They actually stopped doing all that because there wasn't a big call for it, really. Things that got so cheap is like just throw it away. Don't do the machine work.
Yeah, we live in a disposable world. That's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Problem.
I understand certain things you want machined a certain way. Something as simple as a 3-angle valve job might help you make more power than the next guy.
Yep.
And because we're losing so many machine shops, you're not going to see that very often anymore.
All right. It's just like for me on my Duster that I've got. It's a 71 numbers matching. Okay. Yeah, I could go get me another engine to go in there, but then I'd lose that numbers matching compared to if I took the original engine and had it totally gone through, kept
It's
the
hard to find
head.
a shop to do that.
Right. Did all that to the head and the engine, put it back in there, the value of it would still be there.
Depends on who you sell it to. Anymore, there's a lot of resto mod guys that want all the newer stuff, want them all updated. You
Right.
get a lot of money out of them.
True.
I was talking when I sold my Opel GT. I had a guy come up from Utah and look at it, and he was building one. They took just the shell off the Opel GT and put it on a Honda S2000,
Andy.
and they were over $100,000 into that car already.
Wow. Mandy, that's
Yeah,
a bold-faced lie. I didn't never say you couldn't have any more guns. And you've never sold that to me either. We have an
My
understanding
hunting
there.
rifle- Yeah, my hunting rifle is a 1917. It's the Eddystone that they made. I think it's made by Winchester, but they made it in the Eddystone train plant,
No.
so they
No,
labeled them Eddystone.
The Eddystones are a modification of a Mauser, right? The Lend-Lease Act?
No.
No, it's the same as his Winchester 1917 because my
Yeah.
Okay.
nephew has one. But they
Right.
just made them in the Eddystone train
Okay.
manufacturing plant.
Right. Well, you actually had Eddystone. There was Winchester, and I don't remember the. I know the other name, but it was actually 3 different companies. So Eddystone had nothing to do with Winchester at all.
Okay.
Those 2 were totally separate, and everything. I think Springfield was the other one.
Yeah, probably.
I think it was Springfield.
Yeah, I hunt with my Eddystone.
Do you?
Hey, Twisted Mopar.
Yeah, it's got the pop-up peep sights and everything on it.
Oh, that's
neat.
It's in a 30-06, which
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I found out how they came up with that designation. Do you know how they came up with the designation for 30-06?
I'm not positive.
Hey, Twisted Mopar.
30 caliber of 1906.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a 30 caliber, and they came up with it in 1906.
And then the first rifle that carried that in combat was what, the 1909 patent date?
I don't remember if it was 1909 or not. I don't remember.
Mandy, help me out here.
It
Yeah,
could,
I'm calling my wife to help me with that one.
I mean, it could be the Springfield. I think Springfield was the first one,
The 30-06 Springfield.
right? But
But
uh,
what was the year of application or
well, I
patent
know
on that?
I know that for World War One, the main thing that we had was like the what's that British rifle? The Enfield. We had
Lee
the
Enfield.
Lee Enfield.
SMLE. Magazine.
Right.
Yeah.
But it
Mandy,
was
help us out here.
303. Right, but the Lee Enfield's 303.
3 Brit, yes. Oh, we're
Right,
losing
and
people.
the,
Okay, it's
and
coming
the
back.
British, right? But the British or the American government did not want, our GIs going over there fighting with British ammo and everything. They wanted something for us, as far as Americans. So that's why they came up with the model 1917 in 30-06.
I'm going to have to either plug in my phone or try swapping Wi-Fi networks. I think I'll just plug in the phone.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Well, as long as we
You
stay
know,
here, we'll be able to keep it going for him.
And Jackson goes sideways in 3, 2.
2, 1.
Yeah,
He's
they
gonna
had
pull
that
Mandy.
deal with the Beretta M9 that the military uses now. That they're Italian, so they didn't want them for the U.S. military, even though they outperformed all the other guns that they tried.
Yep.
So Beretta made a plant in the United States to build all the ones for the military to make the military happy. That was kind of cool.
Got to leave it to the U.S. government to do certain things. Sometimes the bureaucracy wins. Sometimes the bureaucracy fails all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it fails all of us more often than it wins, just if anybody's wondering.
Yeah.
Especially, in the last couple decades. It just
In the
keeps
last
getting
100,
worse.
150 years, yeah, something like that.
The further we go, the worse it gets, yes.
Since sometime around 1913, right around in there, it really kind of started going sideways.
Well, it kind of really started going sideways 3 years ago.
No. It started going
The
sideways
other
100
president,
years
too.
ago.
This is
110 years
2.0.
ago.
Let's not get into politics because I think that just we might get all banned from Facebook and
That's
YouTube.
ugly.
Yeah.
But Mandy's wanting to
Mandy
know what,
needs a question.
she's wanting to know what the question was as far as what the first rifle was that was chambered for 30-06.
Don't know.
I was going to Google that, and that's when I started seeing some blips, and I realized my phone was smoking hot because it's supporting the Wi-Fi right now. So
Mater, you know your stuff about World War One. I'm a
I
big fan.
thought Mater would know that. And Mandy, have you jumped in on that one? Oh, she was asking, what's the question? What was the first rifle made for the 30-06?
Yeah,
that was the military rifle.
That's what I was just saying. It's like what was the first one for the 30-06?
I know it. I think it's the 1909 Springfield.
I mean, now as far as the bolt action, now I don't know if the 30-06
Definitely bolt action.
The 30-06 might have actually been developed for the what was the water cooled machine gun that
What, the Browning 30 cal?
it was a
1919 Browning or 1917 Browning. Actually, there was even one that predates that, but it was made before the cartridge was. The patent for the mechanical action, there we go, 1903 A3.
Okay.
And so it does predate the 30-06 caliber. I thought it was the other way around.
Well, the 1903.
Winchester was the first one, wasn't it?
Oh, now see.
That's it.
Really?
Elite
No.
All
Arms?
right. She's nodding her head. Mandy?
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
So what's
Go
the
ahead.
answer?
What was the question?
We were asking what was the first rifle chambered in 30-06 for the military. And Ed's machine come back finally with 1903 A3 Springfield.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was thinking it was, for some reason I had the years backwards. And it was a few years off. And then the other one was the Maxim machine gun. Was the first machine gun chambered in 30-06 before the 1917 Browning. The Maxim predated that, and it was a water-cooled barrel machine gun.
That's it.
And
The
those patents date back to the 1880s,
But
just
the
a few
MG42
decades after the
preceded
Civil
them
War. We get into military history every time, Mater.
Yeah.
But the MG42 is still the best.
That is an amazing machine gun. I've got to fire one in 7.62 NATO. So, okay, so it wasn't the patent dates, it was the adaptation dates. Thank you, Eds.
Ed, and Eddie.
Yes, Mandy's referring to some of our friends from Pennsylvania, Ed and Eddie. It was a father and son that got us into collecting militaria and also introduced us to the importers. Are you looking up at me?
Yes.
All right, now we got the full. We're getting there. We're getting to the full.
Full panel.
The full panel. Yeah, the Brady Bunch panel. Right.
The Shady Bunch.
The Shady Bunch.
Shady Bunch.
Yeah, it's getting shadier the more people we have. That's for sure.
Yep.
Be happy I'm not showing cars.
You try to sell my cars, and they're for the YouTube channel. That's why I'm saving them. That's the whole point to the YouTube channel, is so I can get enough money coming in to pay for the parts to fix those cars.
Yeah, that's why
Oh
I
my
have 6 cars right now.
Who's
Yeah. You just bought a new one too. I don't know if you wanted.
I didn't buy anything else.
No, I did. I bought something
Oh.
I'm not telling anybody about yet.
Really? Let's know.
It's.
Is it a Ford?
No. Not even close. Wrong.
He got
comp.
another Jeep. He got,
Yo,
he got another Jeep.
Both you and both you and Pick have been pretty evasive about your collections.
No, I'll tell you about everything else I've got. That car needs to be the focus of attention, but I got to get the damn Chambler done. And I'm
Gotta get
so-
the Chambler done because that's going to be your car for the No Name Nationals.
I'm so far behind on that thing. I've got to focus on that. So I bought the car 2 weeks ago now, and it's sitting in my driveway, and it'll be sitting there until I get a chance to start working on it. It was an 80s show car. It's a 70s vehicle. And it is
80 show car. I'm already digging this.
it's not a Ford. It's not American. I'll go that's as far as I'll go. So
Porsche.
I don't have that kind of money. It was only $300.
Nissan, Datsun,
Monte
Gotta
Carlo.
admit, he got
240Z.
Since
You gotta
he put his
he
mine.
got a Bentley.
What?
Hold on. Sorry, I couldn't hear you, Mater.
I said you got a Bentley.
No, I don't. It was $300, Mater.
I thought he said it was made in Italy.
No.
No,
It cost me almost as much to tow it home as it did to buy the damn thing. So
There's the old records.
oh, he got a Volkswagen.
no, I'm not telling you. No, it's not that. No,
You could have towed that home with a bicycle. What are you talking about?
You can push it.
On one of my old videos, I have a picture of my Rolls Royce kitted limo that I had. I think it was
The
awesome.
Phantom Wolves. All
Had Lambo doors and everything.
right, now you ruined it.
Oh,
It was a Lincoln.
Lambo's
Town
even
car
tired of
with
Lambo
Rolls
doors.
Royce kit and Lambo doors.
He got him a Yugo. Wherever he go, you go.
Well,
yeah, I've told y'all some stories about my Toyota Supers that I had in Germany. The one story I didn't tell y'all, and I actually have pictures to prove it happened. I had a four-wheeled, it wasn't a bicycle because it was 4 wheels, a four-wheeled pedal bike or pedal car that had a trailer hitch on it. What I did is I built a 4-wheeled trailer and put a long block for the Toyota Supra, the 7M GTE. I put that on the trailer, hauled it from my basement in the barracks parking lot across post to the Autocraft Center, which I already had the cylinder head and turbo and intake manifold waiting. Hauled it across post on the bicycle trailer, dropped it off, hauled the bicycle back, went and grabbed tools, hauled the tools there, and then assembled the long block at the Autocraft Center, and then put that into the car the same weekend.
Nice.
Yes,
Wow.
because I got kicked out of working on the car in the on-post housing parking lot because people kept reporting it.
They're crazy.
So I had to work at the Autocraft shop where you have to pay by the hour. I'm working on my own stuff, but I have to pay them by the hour for how long I'm there.
For the shop, yeah. I
Had
used
to
to do that
pay.
a lot.
You know, I hated paying by the hour, so I invited as many friends as I could at the time. And maybe I can actually get one of them to actually get on here. He's still a friend of mine to this day. Jeff, and he goes by Jeff Stig on Instagram. But Jeff, I don't even remember his last name, but he was one of my best friends in the Army in Germany. And I'll remember his last name later, but it doesn't matter for the sake of this story. If I tell stories about a Jeff, he was either my drinking buddy or one of my automotive buddies or both.
You have 5 Jeffs.
I know I've got 5 Jeffs, and that's the
I've got
reason I
5
have so many
Jeeps.
Jeffs.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh?
You've got
I
5
gotta
Jeffs.
get
I've got
going,
5
guys.
Jeeps.
5 what?
I'll stay in the. Huh? 5
You've
what?
got 5 Jeffs. I've got 5
Oh.
Jeeps.
You got 5 Jeeps. Same thing. They're your buddies.
Yeah, I'll be in the chat, but I gotta get down, guys.
Right.
Okay.
Good to see
All
Well,
right.
thanks for coming.
Y'all.
Maybe we'll get you to talk more next time.
We'll catch y'all later.
Baby
Maybe
step.
the-
Take it easy,
Yeah,
man.
bye.
Thank you. All right. So now that he's gone, we can talk about him real quick before he jumps into the comment section. Nah, thanks. I still thank everybody for coming. I invited him and sent him a link before during the work day. But that's what I've been doing today. Is when I not only subscribe to a channel, I jump on there and see if they have an email on their thing. Pickle, by the way, you're missing an email address.
I put one in after.
Okay, and that way we can contact and get the sticker trades going.
Yeah,
Mater,
I don't-
same thing. I don't know if I've looked, but yeah, we're gonna definitely trade stickers. Mandy, you already have plenty of my stickers. You need to give them out more.
Well, I'll put it like this. I don't think 60% heard this, but yesterday on my live stream, I announced that I finally got monetized.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and I've already got like 5 super chats. And what I plan on doing is taking that money, and I'm actually starting to run low on stickers. But what I'm hoping to do is hit the amount where I can actually place an order for new stickers.
Cool. So you hit the
Yeah.
80,000 watch hour for the backdoor monetization stuff?
Yeah. Well, actually, I've had over 4,500
Okay.
watch hours. Of course, I've got more than the minimum amount
That is-
of videos that they wanted. I
That
see it. But I mean, I'm at 539 subs. So they sent me this thing out Thursday via email. It's like I started the process, and by late Saturday, early Sunday, I was already monetized.
Yeah, it was about a day for me. Same thing for Junkyard. And he just hit it when he just rolled quickly into his 1,000. He was a couple hundred. He was like 100 lower than I am, and he made those 2 videos, and he's almost 1,100 subscribers. He's rocketing lately.
Oh yeah.
I've
But,
turned on the super chats. I got to talk to somebody about that old membership thing because you should be eligible for that too. I don't know if I want to do that or not.
I've actually got the memberships going, and I know a lot of people. They've got the 3 different tiers, and I'm trying to keep it low on the cost. That way, people who don't have a lot of money, you can at least afford to be in. I mean, 99 cents a month.
Yeah.
And I think the most expensive one is like $4.99 a month.
Okay.
Right?
So I'm just like I said, I'm just trying to keep it on low cost and everything. That's why even on my Teesprings account, that if someone was to go there and buy something, I might make maybe $2 on a T-shirt.
Yeah. But it's more direct than counting on YouTube AdSense to pay you.
Right. Well, the thing about
At least
it is,
when you sell a T-shirt, you know you got $2.
right. Well, the
It's
thing
not a
about
lot.
it,
You're not going to get rich off that. You know.
right. Well, now the nice thing about going with Teespring is the fact that I don't have to worry about going and buying all the T-shirts, getting all the printing and everything done on it, paying for the shipping to me. Then when someone wants one, I've got to pull one out of storage, get it packaged up, send it out, and everything.
Oh, we lost
Teespring
Mandy.
takes care of the whole thing.
Right.
They do the printing. They just go grab one, print it, ship it off. They collect all the money. They deal with all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I don't have to worry about anything.
That's an option. You know. So, you know, it's and like I said, that every time one sells, at least you can click on there and go, oh, there's $2.
Yeah.
You know, I hate when, you know, the other day I was at 681 subscribers. I get up the next morning, I'm at 679. How to lose 2 subscribers overnight?
I'm losing. I've gained and lost. I went from 799 to 740, 794 back and forth all week last week. And then I jumped up to 806 this morning, and now I'm back to 804 tonight. This shit happens. It does get old.
Algorithm math.
Yep.
It pisses me. Honestly, I hate to say, but it pisses me off. I hate that shit.
I hate same thing with the hours viewed. You know, one day I was at 11:25. The next morning it was 11:21.
I know
was
that
like-
some of that is going to be a video rolls out of the count or whatever, but I've got one video I keep losing views on. It was at 300, now it's back at 284, and I don't understand what the hell's going on.
How do you lose views on a video?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't
now
know.
how that works is, say you've got 900 subscribers. Okay, if you lose a subscriber, YouTube takes away all those watch hours. So if you drop down to,
It's kind of
say,
dirty.
go from 900 to 899, all the watch hours from that one person they take away.
They still watched the video.
They
Yeah.
watch it, but if that person unsubscribes from you, they take away your watch hours.
Well, 2 things. How does that work when they altered the video watch count? I load a video in my new subscriber thing, and it's each channel video. When it hits 300 views, I put the next one in. When that hits 300, I put the next one in. Well, my 11th one did it. Took it down. I looked at it again 2 weeks later, and it was 284. So I put it back up. Hit 300. Now it's back to 284 again. I don't get that shit. And
Algorithm math.
how does that work when they unsubscribe people? They've unsubscribed my mom from my own channel when she watches me like once a week.
You know, that same thing, you know, that's what I felt like was happening to my live streams. You know, my wife's here, my mom's here, my brothers sometimes watch, some of my coworkers and employees will watch. And so I know I had 5 people watch for the whole, say, 2 hours. And I get up the next day and it's showing me no watch hours. I was like, are they canceling those views out because they're too closely related to me? You know,
It's just, I understand it's their company, they can do whatever they want, but when they change the rules all the time, it makes it very hard to play their stupid game.
Yeah.
That's what bugs me.
the name of the game is I win.
Well, they don't have anything without you, me, and everybody else that makes videos. So at some point, you do have to. Yes, we are nothing, but yes, we are nothing.
Stop
with a lot of
ticking
power.
off your content creators.
Yeah, you don't have a thing if you don't. It's again. I'll bear within their stupid rules, but I have to know what their rules are, and they can't change every 5 minutes.
Yep.
Because the rules have changed 5 or 6 times since I started last year. Most of them have been to my benefit, but some of them have been just really weird.
Right?
Yeah.
And then there's Pickle.
And then there's Pickle. How many subs are you up to now, Pick?
I'm at 96, trying to get to 100.
You'll be at 500 before you know it. You're a very likable person. We all love having you on the streams.
Yep.
You keep the ball rolling. I love the fact that it looks like you're sitting in some rustic barn somewhere.
He is.
Funny enough to say, this was the barn, so.
The bigger question is, are you sitting on that stupid ass garden tractor?
I'm not. I have a chair.
Okay.
Check it. It's back there.
Oh, it's in the.
There's the garden tractor.
I mean,
Well, to be honest, I have a webcam duct taped to a tripod because I lost the mount for the webcam to go to tripods years ago when I put it. I mounted this camera on a 3D printer. So it's got some sort of chain that I 3D printed that attaches to the webcam. And so that's duct taped to a tripod. And then my laptop is actually sitting on top of a stack of Rigid brand toolboxes that are on a cart because I wheel my toolboxes around the garage to wherever I'm working, or if I'm on a live stream, I put it right here to hold my laptop because it's at a decent height. I actually built a bench, a super high workbench, so it was high. So when I was videotaping, me and the work piece I was working on would be at the same similar plane instead of working way down at your waist. And I found that was great for videotaping, but now it's just full of crap over there, and it's full of covered in tools and parts and stuff. So,
dude, that's how every workbench. Look at my workbench.
yours is clean compared to mine. I know there was one live stream a while back with 6% where I think it was the brothers, the garage and the guitar.
Yeah, Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those guys. And we were over there trying to figure out who had the tools the closest. And I think there was one other guy. I think it was the Pontiac guy. Pontiac 455. Fat, sweaty guy or something.
That'd be Thumper.
Thumper.
That wasn't that one. That was
Do what?
Dan, Tom, and myself, and I can't remember anybody else.
Yeah, that
Blend
turned
together
into like
after a while.
who's got more tools close to them.
Well,
And that was actually in my camper that night. So
Dan, has all of his tools in his kitchen because he has his engine in his kitchen. He's in an apartment, so he's kind of got the deck stacked or the deck stacked.
and
If
I'm
has
guilty.
any questions,
I had tools in my barracks room because I ported did a 3-angle valve job and port and polished a cylinder head for the Supra in my barracks room before I got moved over to the family housing.
Hey, did you say in your parents' room?
Barracks.
No, barracks room when I was in the Army in Germany.
I
I had my squad leader subjected me to 5 room inspections a week, and
There you
then
go.
sometimes random. What
I got
size
them.
socket wrench is it?
10 millimeter.
10. At least
got
he knows
mine.
where that one's at.
Yeah, I know where this one's at.
You know what? Until I run out of 10 mils, I have some, and 6% has one. It's the mini gear wrench keychain 10 mil. I'm going to send those out to the first couple people I send stickers to till I run out of them.
Well, like I said, if anybody sends me stickers, they will be going on the back of the new to me Ford. So,
They're going on the back of what?
the new Ford.
The new Ford.
Well, new to
We
me.
just don't know what the Ford is yet. I bet 6% knows.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, I know.
He's hinted.
Yeah. And by the way, I do have my email address up on my about page.
Okay,
Yeah.
on your about. I'll hit
Yeah,
you tomorrow.
Maynard and I exchanged stickers, 2 months ago or something like that.
Something like that. And you actually sent me the newest one, and I actually did the video when I put that on what I call the wall of shame.
Yes. Yeah, you were truly the first person that got one of the Chandler stickers. They just came in like the day before I sent them out to you.
You know, I only have one of your 6 stickers, and I want I do my own stunt sticker.
Mandy, it's not a focus. It's much
She's-
focus.
I've only
She's
got a
gonna-
couple of them left. That sticker, and it actually that's a one run only because now I have new X-rays of my foot, and it's worse than it was in that sticker. So I have to make another run of stickers with the new foot.
Oh, there we go. Let's get the new one.
That is stickers too. I thought that was funny. That's a great
Yeah.
sticker.
You gotta market it. Nobody else has a foot like that on YouTube. So
No, well, my feet aren't like that. So
That's I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
Yeah.
reation you're on YouTube.
Yeah,
I've got that sticker. It's over on
Yeah.
my welding card over there.
Yeah, I've got this one, and then like I said, he sent me this one, and these 2 here, and then he sent me the new one. And the new one's actually the one that went up on the, as I say, the wall of shame.
I'm putting everything on my welding cart now, and then when I run out of room on there, I'll get probably another toolbox and stick stickers on there.
And I actually, I got 2 of them from Honest Peyton, and
Oh, cool.
yeah, I
Not-
put one up on with the rest of, like I said, right there where 6% is at, and then the other one actually replaced. I took one down. I've actually had to take one sticker off to put into the recycled bin, and put the other one from Honest Peyton up in its place.
Well, Mandy says it's a Pinto. I've actually laid eyes on a Pinto wagon here in town, and it's got all its glass and appears to be intact rust-wise.
Isn't that the thing that explode when you get rear-ended, the Pinto?
Yeah.
Okay.
The wagon has a little bit more room back there.
Yeah, that's
Not
probably
much.
false news. You
They,
know, like,
they did fix that, but technically, they did.
well,
But
it's like the stupid Corvair, you know, like people were like, or
yeah, but they
Nader.
weren't as dangerous.
Ralph Nader.
The Corvairs weren't as dangerous, and the Chevy trucks with the side tank saddlebags didn't randomly explode unless you put dynamite in them for TV. So they're, everything's a little
yeah,
They're
over dramatic
Yeah.
or whatever you want.
Actually, the mechanic shop I was mentioning that I worked on that Supra at, about every month or so, they would bring in a totally mint, say mid 90s, because this was in the early 2000s, early to mid 90s, say Ford Explorer. And they'd bring one in and they'd have us put brand new tires. If it needed ball joints, tie rod ends, anything like that, we installed those. We did a full alignment on the whole vehicle. Like I said, tires. The vehicle was usually mint on the inside and outside, didn't have a scratch on it. And then they would have us take the shocks off and put what they called hard struts. It was a 2x2 square stock that we would bolt in place of the shocks, which made them quite hilarious to drive around the parking lot. Because if you don't have springs, because you have no shocks, you have this 2x2 square stock in place of a shock. It's like a circus ride. So you give it gas and it wants to rock backwards real hard. Then you hit the brakes and it wants to rock hard. You can basically get skid, and rock. And the thing was hilarious to drive around the parking lot. But they were taking those, and that was the companies that were doing the rollover tests. So when they would get it, they would bolt up this extra contraption that would keep it from rolling over because it was like training wheels
Yeah,
for a vehicle.
you guys use the giant outrigger arms. We use those at the proving grounds.
They would do that. Yeah. And they were the ones that were testing for the lawsuit. So I was like, how is this an actual test I get that you've replaced every possible suspension component that needed replaced, but then they take and obliterate the shocks by putting in this 2x2 square stock.
They're trying to force a failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was at the proving grounds for Ford, we'd put bolt-in cages in them, and they'd put outrigger arms, which are these giant scissor arms that go out with little nylon feet, and they would take like F-350 long wheelbase Ford vans, put a bunch of water dummies in them, and try to roll them over.
Water dummies.
If you know what I'm talking about with a water dummy, it's an approximation of a human torso, and you put it in the vehicle, you belt it in, and you fill it with water to
It's pretty good, Mandy.
Make the vehicle top heavy as possible.
to make it as and then you're not driving around with people. You're driving around with simulated people. So yeah, we'd call them water dummies. So basically they were like people-shaped coolers, like torso-wise, and then you'd fill them with water to approximate the weight of a human.
Oh my goodness. I could see those almost like a ballistic dummy.
The same idea, but different because you couldn't, you're not going to lug around a 170-pound torso. So that's why they do water.
But you put it in there and then you fill it up with water.
Yep. That's the same thing like what your amusement parks will do when they're testing out a new roller coaster. Is they will basically do the same thing. They will have something in their container and have it filled up with water to simulate a person actually being in it. And then they will switch them out to different positions on the car.
What are you snacking on there, Junkie or Cinderblocks?
Mostly
Hamburger.
cooked hamburger.
Ah.
I was afraid I was going to burn it since I was already on the live. I ran off there and grabbed it. And it's still pink in the middle.
I thought you were going to say beef jerky.
If he left it on there, it probably would have been beef jerky.
It'd be beef jerky by now. Earlier, I was eating smoked Spam and
On
some
purpose?
sort of hot links.
Yeah, no Spam for me. I'm good.
Actually, if you
not?
go to the Hawaiian Islands, that's considered a delicacy there.
And
Yeah.
up like this, Pickle, out there in Hawaii, Spam is actually under lock and key.
It's like a currency.
Wow.
No, it's because people like it so much that they've actually gone into stealing it.
So it's like razor blades at CVS. They put it under lock and key.
Could be.
I have to agree with cousin Mike. That's because all the regular two-door or whatever vehicles are pretty much all been collected up. So the next thing would be wagons.
I've always liked I'd take a wagon over a four-door, but four-doors are fine, and I'd take a wagon before anything else at this point.
I remember when D&D Garage or D&D Speed Shop, they were putting up a car they converted from a four-door to a two-door. And the first time he put it up on YouTube, he was trying to give it away. And then they finally come back and said, no YouTube channels can apply. We want to see some young guy. We should have thrown Pickle in there for it. Get the car, and you're responsible for getting it back to your, he said, I'll put it in storage for you, but I'm not going to haul it anywhere for you. So
Yeah,
you come
we're-
get it.
I want the
You're in
wagon.
Canada, Pickles in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably a long way from D&D Speed Shop, but
Pickles a long way from every damn thing. He's on his own island.
yeah, I mean, he's a 4-hour ferry ride from land,
No, 7 hour.
7 hours from land, the rest of land.
That's on a good day. So
Yeah,
You
I
won't be
wondered,
getting invaded by accident.
did either of you see his live stream Friday night at about 1 in the morning when we went off the rails, all the way off the rails?
Way off the rails. Friday
Oh,
night.
more off the rails than any. Well, Pickle can explain. He should be making a video about it. I don't know if I want to out him if he's going to make that video or not.
I want to. I just haven't had a lot of time lately to make a video. Actually, I haven't made it in a while. Actually, not even a short. Yeah. Do you guys know what mummers are? I'm going to go ahead and say no, but I'm going to ask anyway. You know what a
Mummers?
yeah.
Is that a curse word?
No.
Can we say that on the internet?
I don't know.
When you say it at 1 in the morning on a Friday night when everybody's punch drunk, it's even funnier than it is now. So
Well, I'll go get drunk if it helps.
What, do you have no chocolate?
Hey, 6%. I'm just surprised you still remember it.
Remember what?
He was sober.
Yeah, I don't drink. I haven't
I
taken
know.
transplants.
Me and
Oh,
6%
that's the
drink.
problem with you. You don't drink. You're a mummer.
No. That I am technically the opposite of a mummer.
Yeah, he's the opposite of a mummer. Trust me.
Do I have to Google this? Hurry up.
You know what? You should Google it. Yeah, I'll let you Google it and.
No, actually, even no matter what you
Urban
find it
Dictionary?
saying- no matter what you find it saying, it will not be as funny as Pickle's initial description of it, and then our shock and horror at his description.
Okay,
It
let me
just
try.
got worse.
Let me try the description again. What did I say last time? Something about a bra, I think.
Basically, you said something to the effect of, so these drunk people go around cross-dressing in beards and bras, and they stuff them, and they go to your house, ask you if you can figure out who they are, and they want your booze.
They'll come in. They'll knock on the door. It's a Christmas tradition.
So they've got the stuffed shirt, so you're thinking, oh, my, but they're asking for booze.
Yeah, they come in and they drink your booze and eat your snacks and play a little jig for you, a dance, and then they leave and go to a next house. It's a Christmas tradition here.
I was fixing to say, sounds like a bad Halloween thing, but I was close.
Yeah, it was. Trust me, the initial description that he gave and our reaction was much better than.
Which was that Friday night, 3 a.m., and it was Pickle?
Yeah, it was like 2:30 a.m. for me when we ended. I don't think I stopped laughing for an hour.
Yeah, it was a solid 45 minutes of just WTFing.
Oh Jesus!
It was good, like good.
It sounds very good. I'm gonna have to go watch it.
Yeah, it was the last live stream, the one that's 4 hours. Well, it's the last one that I did 3 days ago. So
Yeah, like it's
Go-
just
go
last
to,
hour. Just
like hour, and then
yeah,
you
it's
can
just
go back
last
and
hour.
skip the
Scroll to the last hour and find it.
Yeah, just all you really have to look for is Pickle explaining something. Just if you're zipping through, and then his face when we all go, "What the fuck?"
6%. That kind of reminds me of the stream that I had with my friend Lorna, and because she's over in England, and she actually she was doing a live stream tasting different types of candy and everything, and she had one of her friends on from over there, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I bet you would really like a Texas cow pie.
Now, cow pie is a different. Is that the same meaning here as it is there? Or
Well, what would you take as a cow pie?
shit. Okay.
I mean, we're talking, of course, I said Texas because everything is bigger. And the thing about it was, she go, oh, I bet they are tasty.
They're tasty,
Well,
all right.
I mean,
Yeah.
we were cracking up the rest of the night. And then when she finally found out what it was, I think she went about 50 shades of red.
I can imagine.
But it's like, oh, how much she really wanted to see how good a Texas cow pie tasted.
She wanted to see how good they taste, huh?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they taste good. I said they have a lot of flavor.
Yeah, I can tell her. They
them?
taste like shit.
Hey, here's a topic. Is it humanly possible to start a siphon on gasoline without getting gas in your mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How?
Well, you could suck on the tube and try your luck. Sometimes you don't get it in your mouth.
I was draining gas out of an old gas out of a generator yesterday, and I've come to the conclusion every time I've ever started a siphon without some sort of mechanical siphon pump device, yeah, gas tastes worse every time you taste it.
The best way for those little small engines is what they call a jiggle pump.
You mean like a shaker siphon?
Oh,
Yeah,
what?
you
Do it
jiggle
again?
for a couple seconds. Oh, that looks.
Do it again?
You just.
He fell for it twice.
How are those cow pies there, Pickle?
Do it again, Pickle. That's kind of like the shake weight, right?
I bought a shaker siphon, and I don't know why, but that piece of shit will not work to save me
Really?
in anything I've tried it with. Yeah, I don't know if it's what I bought or.
I did just remember there is another method. I wish I'd have remembered it yesterday. What you're supposed to do is push most of the hose down into the fuel, put your thumb over the end of the hose, and then bring it over.
Yep.
Instead of sucking on the damn hose like an idiot or a crackhead.
Now, another way.
We're over an hour into it, so we can curse a little.
Well, I was going to say another way of doing it, believe it or not, is using an air hose, an air compressor. Basically, you have the what you're doing is you're pointing your hose and everything down. You take your air hose and everything with a nozzle and point down also, and as soon as it brings the vacuum.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen a couple cool ones, but the jiggle pump definitely works the best. For me personally, because
I've never seen a jiggle pump work.
Just small engines. I don't know how it would work on a large amount of fuel. It's not that fast, but
well, when you say jiggle pump, is it the type where there's like a marble in the end of the tube and you shake it and it pulls fluid out?
Yeah.
We need to make him do that. Do that again.
Yeah.
I'll get it right eventually.
I'm down here.
Way being able to drain the fuel tank on a generator.
Pardon?
I just didn't want to turn the thing upside down, and I've been using the little valve on the float bowl to drain it, but that was taking too long.
Pardon me. What
Believe it or not, all you got to do is take the because on the tank there's going to be a shut-off valve.
Yeah.
Shut the valve off. Take that hose off of that. Put your longer one on there. Turn the valve on.
I've done that too, but the problem with that I had is the tank had dirt in it, so it wasn't getting rid of the dirt. So I found the best way was to suck it out with a jiggle pump, and then I took a compressor with a paper towel and just blew a rag all around the tank, and that cleaned it up pretty good.
Blew a rag around the tank.
Yeah,
That's a pretty good one.
works very good.
That's thinking at least.
Now,
I was just
use the blue shop towels when you do it. Paper towels like to disintegrate, so they're no good for it. But if you have the blue shop rags,
All right.
actual shop towels, they'll work great.
Yeah, because that's more of a cotton instead of wood fiber.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
That's why the
My tank
blue,
was fairly clean. It was just the gas had turned. Or maybe it just wasn't getting to the carburetor anyway. So I was like, let's get this old gas out and put some fresh gas in. So I put a splash of fresh gas in, burped the float bowl to where I got fresh gas to the float bowl. And I did think of disconnecting my fuel lines, but I've got a contraption in there where I've added a secondary fuel valve and a F connector, so I can run an auxiliary like a boat tank.
Okay.
So, because when I was running that generator before, I was having to run it 24/7. So to refuel it, I wasn't shutting it off. I would just swap tanks live. So before swapping tanks, I'd run it off the tank that was in the machine, plug in another one, swap the valve back, and then I'd top off. If I'd run it for a little while, say if I realized one of my main tanks had gone dry, I'd switch it to where it would run off the main tank, go take the other tank and go refill it. I had a mess of tanks and stuff. I was staying on a property that had water and sewer, but no electricity because a good friend of mine had passed away, and he owed his power company several $1,000s when he passed away.
ouch.
And without proof, they wouldn't let us pay the bill without us proving we were him. And
That's
we didn't want to tell the power company he was dead because we were technically squatting on the property. So my friend that introduced me to him was actually trying to get that property under squatters' rights. And because it was on a lake, the lake authority actually shut that down. And guess who owns the property now? The guy that works for the lake authority. So it's kind of a little bit of corruption of power when he stepped in and bought the property. But he knew. We were the ones that kept mowing that property 2 or 3 years after the guy died. The guy didn't mow his property to begin with when he was alive. So we were paying for all the maintenance on the property and trying to keep the crackheads out of the place. And I was happening to work in that region at the time. So
if you need to figure out if your generator is if the carburetor is bad or not, just get a bit of brake cleaner or something flammable and spray it into the air cleaner into the carburetor. And if it starts like first pull, then that was
it runs on propane. So I know what I'm thinking is I probably need to take the main jet out and clean it with some brake cleaner or something.
I'm pretty sure that's what was wrong with it anyway. It was not getting enough fuel to start, and then when it was running, it would just keep bogging all the time, especially when you put a load on it. It was fine for a little while, but it wasn't that dirty inside, but there was a little bit of stuff.
The last generator that did that, it would search and hunt for an RPM. It would just never stabilize, and that I'd clean the main jet and it fixed it. So
yeah, exactly. That's what was really
pretty
going
much
on
what
with
this
the old
is.
Yeah, I think it was just running lean. I just wasn't getting enough fuel to start. But whenever I would spray brake clean in there, it would go like first pull. So I knew
You know what? I'm proud to be friends with this guy because how many 18-year-olds know this? Right, Mater and 6%?
At least one.
Yeah, this guy does. He's that into fixing small engines and anything. He's figured that out already.
Well, working on small engines is actually easy. I found out
It's a good basis too.
It's a gateway drug.
It is.
It's a gateway drug. Hey, get him hooked on small engines before he gets hooked on girls and maybe he'll just think he can impress girls with this, his engine smarts.
Now, have you ever watched?
You'll fail like all of us did. Yes.
Now, one thing I was going to say, have you ever watched Musty One?
Yeah, I love Musty One. He's one of my favorite. I've been
I
watching.
don't think I've seen him yet.
I've been
This
watching him since I
guy,
was like 18.
he
he's
will
great.
find generators, any kind of small engine equipment, lawnmowers, snow
Oh, yeah.
blowers, anything
Everything.
like that, and he gets it for free, and he'll bring it in, and he'll start testing it, and he will test one, see if it's even got fire to it. He'll pull the plug out and have the wire and everything hooked up to it,
It's
bring
not
the motor
focus.
over, and see if it's got fire. He'll actually squirt some fuel down inside the
Not a fan.
cylinder, put the plug back in, just finger tight, and get the plug wire
Bang it on.
hooked back up and pull it over. If it fires, he goes, okay, well, I know I got spark. I know it runs in the carburetor.
Yeah, you
He'll
got
pull the
spark
carburetor-
pressure, black and fuel.
And
Yeah.
he'll pull the carburetor apart, and he'll take it all apart, clean it, everything in the ultrasonic cleaner, put it back on, and he'll have it running.
Yeah, he's good. That's
Yeah.
where I learned a lot about carburetors from him. And also, I can't just say from him. I picked up a little bit from everywhere, but mostly all you guys have taught me about.
No, you have to say Dan, because if you don't say Dan, he'll cry. He'll make a
Oh,
video.
geez,
So.
geez. Yeah, can we wait?
A
Yeah,
video
that was
about manifold vacuum versus.
Ported, oh boy.
Oh, they.
No, we can start that again here. You want to drop all your viewers in a heartbeat? Let's talking vacuum.
Bye.
No, we're good.
I don't.
Yo,
even
because
understand-
I had that thought back when I was in high school, and for me, I figured out what I needed to do to make my vehicles run right. And if you really want to tune a specific advance into a motor, lock out your distributor, get the 6AL box, and program it. You put any tune you want in there to your heart's content, and get the maximum advance your motor can accept. And that's the thing. How much advance can your motor accept at a given RPM and throttle position? The rest is irrelevant.
No,
Now,
it doesn't
Pickle,
matter if it's irrelevant. What matters is if you do those stupid videos, your channels grow, because both Dan's channel and Junkyard's channel went skyrocket.
That's what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to start an argument with somebody over something.
Yes.
And-
Apparently
right.
that's why
I
I'm
was
going
gonna ask,
slowly.
Pickle, have you watched that guy James Condon?
Yep. He also works on generators and little engines. Yeah, I've seen him.
Yep, he does the same thing.
Yep.
But now he actually goes in and showing you how to test the generator itself to see if it's any good.
Yeah. That's a big thing because a lot of people will throw them out, but there's really just the electronic little piece on the end of them now that
Yep.
go bad. The little Honda back here, I mean, it's purely mechanical. It doesn't have
Uh,
electronic.
Yep, Terrell fixes all.
I am not the one to start a fight with, jackass.
You're going to learn to lose that, boy.
We're waiting on everybody else to notice this. He said I had to start an argument with somebody.
Someone who'll actually.
You know
play
what, though?
the game.
I have a Toyota. Maybe I should go to Easter Jeep Safari with big stickers on the back of the Toyota saying Jeeps are stupid.
No, make sure you name it Latoya first instead of Toyota, because everybody loves
Yeah,
that.
what kind of because I mean,
No, you have to find a channel that's willing to play along, and I'm not the channel that's willing to play along. So.
It would be fun to find somebody to play
It would
along.
be better, like if you wanted to start a fight, just tell Mater that Cobalt tools suck.
there you go.
I've got a broken Cobalt drill and a broken Cobalt battery right now.
Come on, Mater, do something.
Come on, Mater.
Hey, poke the bear.
I
Poke the bear.
put something in the chat.
Later, you.
No, oh, sweet! It's starting fights with channels that don't care day. All right, yeah. Fords do suck.
I've owned a few Fords. I've
Come
given
on,
most
Pickle.
of them away.
Come on, Pickle. Come on, Pickle.
You know what? My father, he hates Fords, okay? He's always said it. He picks on me for liking Fords. And I just can't help it. I always like Fords. I like the history behind the company. I think they made great stuff one time. I don't know about so
At one
much now,
time,
but
back when they were all black.
not that long ago. But yeah, I don't know. He's a big Toyota fanboy. Yeah, like
Hold on,
What?
say that again.
what?
Say it again.
My dad is a big Toyota fanboy.
Toyota?
Yeah, Toyota.
Toyota?
Toyota.
Toyota?
Why?
Don't you guys go big?
It's Toyota.
Toyota.
There's
Toyota.
a Y in the middle.
Toyota.
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 How do you say? How do you say tacos? You say tacos?
Taco.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
That's closer. Because there's the Toyota Taco.
Well, yeah, but that Tacoma's a taco, but that's a different. That's not a taco. That's
They're
a taco.
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 That's for Dodge calipers and nitros suck.
Yes.
Nope.
Oh, now
I think my dad had the Caliber, the variable belt drive piece of crap that transmissions would go out after about 40,000 miles.
Yeah, Nissans are like that now too. They have the VVT in them, and they suck, or CVT. I mean,
No, Mater loves
I've
his.
only had one. Now, I will put it like this: I've only had one problem with my caliper, and as far as transmission wise, and the biggest problem is the fact is that no one had ever done a transmission service on it, which the inside you've actually got two filters for it. You've got the one actually in the transmission, but there's one in the transmission cooler.
Oh, my.
And it basically got clogged up where it wasn't allowing the fluid to be able to go through. And even though I think I had at that time like 130, or it's either 130 or 135,000 miles on it, I wanted to do a transmission service on it. That took care of the whole problem. Now, like I said, I don't care what manufacturer it is out there. It could be an Opel, it could be an Isuzu, it could be a Yugo. It don't matter. You've got to do the maintenance on the vehicle. Otherwise, something's going to go wrong. And
Yeah,
when I worked in
vehicles.
Right.
That's why I don't believe in them, because you can't service them.
right,
They're
but
very-
now I'll play this. I worked in a Japanese repair shop back in the mid to late 80s and everything. You would not believe how many Toyota cars and trucks were coming in for overheating. Okay. They had that 22R engine in them. We would see at least two
I'm
or
working
three
on
of them a month. Okay. The biggest problem with them was the people were not doing the timing gear set at the scheduled maintenance time. Oh, well, the truck's running fine, no problem with it. But the biggest problem is that they had a phenolic or plastic style chain guard on there.
Yeah, it's a wear
Okay.
item. It's a wear item.
Right, it's a wear item. Okay, but here's the thing: that thing would wear out. It would put slack and everything in the timing chain, and it would wear a hole in the timing chain cover, right where the thermostat's at. So all your coolant right down the oil pan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So it's
that
kind of
can cause a milkshake quick.
Yep. But like I said, now we had Hondas come in, we had Mitsubishi's come in, and they would have like 100,000 miles on them. Customers say, "Well, it just turns over but won't start." Yeah, I worked on one, and it literally, the teeth and everything on the timing belt were all gone. That belt got down around the crank. It couldn't spin the timing belt. The engine is sitting there turning over and over.
Cams weren't
But then
turning.
right, but I mean, the engine is still turning over, but the cam's not turning.
And
And
also
so
the distributor's not firing.
we would have to put, get everything in line, and then we would check, and sure enough, there'd be bent valves. And it's like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
got to pull the head and everything, do a valve job on it. Oh, and yeah, you got a cracked piston, so now we got to pull the whole engine.
The fix for the 22R timing chain was the reproduction or the aftermarket timing chain tensioners were had a plastic covering on top of a metal tensioner. So if it went
Right.
through the plastic, you still kept tension. It would make more noise, and that was your warning sign to have it serviced.
Right. But at that time,
I never had that problem with them because all the ones I had owned had already had that modification done to them.
Right.
My biggest problem with those motors was there's one bolt that comes through the head into that timing cover, and if you put the wrong bolt in it, it blows the bottom of that cover out, and then oil will leak around that bolt and all over your motor.
yep. And the only way to get to that bolt is you literally have to pull the valve cover off.
Pull the valve cover, pull the timing chain, the top sprocket off the cam, and get in there to get that bolt.
Yep.
And then you had to get the right size bolt in there and plug that hole best you could to keep it from leaking again.
Now we
And I have
actually
3 timing
had-
covers that have that same plug.
Right. Now we actually came up with a way of, say a car came in and it didn't have the issue with the timing, but there was something else wrong and we had to pull the head. We actually had a way of being able to pull the head and everything off and didn't have to worry about that belt tensioner, that little piston that would pop out. We actually had come up with a piece of wood in a wedge with a wire on it. We would actually stick it down in there,
Jam it down in there.
get it jammed in there. That way the timing chain, that piston, the tensioner would not come out and everything. We could pull the cam,
And that was the 22Rs again.
and we would do
What
it
I did I was able to swap heads and keep the timing chain and timing cover intact. Baling wired the chain to the cam the cam gear. Baling wire that so tight that the cam couldn't slip timing, and it kept the timing on the bottom at the crank. And then of course double check that when you reinstall everything.
Right.
And another trick with those, what was the other trick? I can't remember it now. Oh, the Toyotas from that generation, whether it was the 22R or not, they had that electronic ignition module that sat right below the coil. And if you left the key switch on for too long, it would burn that ignition module up.
Yep.
And that was a common failure where people would have the cars towed in because it would turn over but wouldn't start. And it was just that, I think at the time it was like $55 for an ignition module, maybe 75 if you got the Toyota brand one. And
Now we actually had a Mazda RX-7 come in, and it had an oil leak.
Yeah.
And the customer said, "Yeah, I know I've got an oil leak on it. Don't know where it's coming from." And I brought it in and everything, and looked at it, did exam, and it's like, "Oh yeah, this thing's got a front oil seal leaking on it." And the lady that owned it was trying to figure out why it was going to cost $700 to replace the front oil seal.
motor probably had to come out halfway out of the car.
The engine had to get pulled out and disassembled because Mazda, when they designed that engine, that oil seal was installed from the inside out.
Oh, yep.
And the only way, but the only way to get that front cover off is you literally have to pull the engine out because the bolts go from the back forward.
Oh man. Yeah, that they didn't. Those engineers not thinking for the mechanics.
And you had to pull the flywheel off.
Oh, good grief! Insult to injury there at that point.
Yeah, but like I say, she couldn't figure out why it was going to be so much, and
you might as well sell them a fresh clutch while you're in there. Fresh throwout bearing, fresh pilot bearings.
Right. So it's like, yeah, there's a lot of work, going into that. Now, what was a pain was when we rebuilt one of those. You put the new apexes and everything on the rotor, and when you go to rebuild it, you can't, like on a regular engine, how you put the engine and everything in, and you go to start it with the key. You can't do that with a rotary engine. You actually have to get the car up to push start it up to about 30 to 35 miles an hour, and then pop the clutch while it's in second gear. because when you put those apexes and everything on those rotors,
They won't
they're
turn.
in so tight and everything that just by sitting there spinning the engine over, there's not enough momentum to get them sling out to seal.
Oh, wow.
So
Never
you
heard of that
actually have
before.
to get it up to about 30, 35 miles an hour to get it to where it's going to be spinning about 1,500 to 2,000 RPMs to sling the apexes and everything out on the rotors.
That's interesting. Have you heard of this new liquid piston engine? It's
Never heard of
it's kind of like an inside-out rotary engine. It still has a piston that floats around inside those chambers like that, but like I said, let's look them up later. The liquid piston engines. It's an inside-out rotary, and they've kind of solved some of the sealing issues of the old apex seals and stuff like that.
Now, what's really weird is
that produce like 20 something horsepower out of an engine that's maybe the size of a laptop.
But now, one thing I was going to say, what a lot of people don't realize is, Mazda, they've been known for having, the rotary engine, but it was actually a German design.
Yeah, it's a Wankel.
The Wankel.
Yep, it was a Wankel. But it's German. The guy that designed it was actually German from back in the 40s.
What was that? 6%?
Wankel?
Oh, I thought you were about to say something else into a point.
No, I sneezed.
Oh, okay. I'm hearing car doors outside. I'm going to go check around outside real quick. I'll be right back.
All right, thanks for the warning.
Scrolling marketplace, looking at all.
Hey, now that he's gone, we can start really talking bad about POS Yellow Jacket right there.
Well, other than the fact that it's a Chevy, I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
you don't have to say no more than that. I mean, that sums it all up,
Yeah. But like I said, that's one thing I learned a lot of when I was working on the Japanese cars. Now, yes, I have gotten out of working on cars for several years, but that don't mean I don't know how to twist a wrench on them and work on them. I've done the work on my own car. I mean, I did change out that intake manifold on the Caliber. I changed did a transmission service, which that's something that's normal and easy to do. I mean, hell, Pickle, you could even do that.
Oh, I could do anything.
I'm going to throw him under the bus now, Mater. Jeez.
Do what?
Yeah, throwing me under the bus here now. Yeah.
Under the bus.
If you've seen what I wanted to really drive, you would be.
That's so easy. That little shit can do it. Yeah, it's great.
That's the only thing that he can't do is work on a Chambler. He would have no idea what to do there.
I've welded some, but I've never put a patch panel in a vehicle. And 6%, you are incredibly talented when it comes to that, because I know one thing is for sure: every panel I would put on that thing would be warped like the devil.
Oh, yeah, trust me, I've river danced my way through most of those panels, because you can't make 6 compound curves in a panel without a sugar structure and have it look like you didn't beat the shit out of it with a hammer. So
Yep.
Yeah.
I was just seeing this on Marketplace. It's an old Land Rover. You should get this. It's like a Jeep.
Well, actually, the Land Rover is based off of the Jeep.
It's a 60 series Land Rover. That's an original aluminum body Land Rover. Restored, those are actually worth a lot of money.
I know. I was just looking at this one. I love them. If I had the money for it, I would totally buy one. It's $4,500.
What would you buy?
He's back.
Sorry. Ooh, is that a flatty?
Land Rover.
Oh, Land Rover. I thought it was a flat fender Jeep from this angle.
No.
No.
Oh, military one.
It's the British equivalent of a flat fender Jeep. That's why everything looks crooked in the front area.
That's why it's all crooked. Got crooked teeth. Actually, a good friend of the channel, he refuses to be on YouTube, but he actually has one of the old military, the original military flat fender Jeeps. Him and his dad had collected, and he said he's probably going to entrust me to restore that on the channel eventually. So
that would be awesome. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for that.
But the trek over to Pennsylvania and back is going to be. I might as well just bring the tools and work on it there. Might just do the whole thing on live stream. Try to knock it out in like a week or two. There's not much to it.
I'm hoping by sometime, maybe the end of this week, you guys will be able to know. Well, 6% already knows, but you other two and everybody else has been wondering. We'll be able to know what I got.
There's only 3 of us on here, and cousin Mike and.
Technically, there's 6 of us there's 7 of us because 4 of us and 3 on the stream. So
I was trying to downplay it. Thanks, 6%.
Yeah,
Well,
I know.
For being better at math than Pickle.
Well, hey, he can
hey,
only put
he likes the metric
yeah.
system. Give him a break.
If he only wants, hey, if Pickle only wanted 3 people to know, he could always put it in a private chat. Then we could just blab it out to everybody.
Oh, trust me, we have a Discord that the group of us from the Monday night cross stream we do, because it's too hard to try to coordinate everything. It's like herding cats, so you have to be able to talk kind of behind the scenes. And they know what car I'm getting. I know what truck he's getting, but there's stuff you just to try to build up suspense and make it so that people actually watch your stuff. You do have to have some level of, leave it alone until it's time.
Yeah, you have no idea. I want to blurt it out right now.
Oh, yeah,
I'm like,
cousin Mike is landed, by the way.
Not a Pinto. Okay.
It is not a Pinto.
I'm just clicking on her old comments. Sorry, just giving you crap.
Because even if I would tell you what it was when it left the factory and what it is now are not the same thing. And
kind of like the Chambler.
Is not the same thing. Well, the Chambler still looks like the Chambler. This thing doesn't look like how it left the factory.
I can't wait to see it. So
is he getting a Ford Courier?
No.
Okay.
I like that he uses an alias when he's not being his channel, I guess. My brother has jumped on some of the lives and stuff under his Facebook name, and his Facebook name is Bubba Gravy.
Nice.
And the main reason he has a Facebook page of Bubba Gravy is because every few years in the military, he has to renew his security clearance. And when they renew your security clearance, they ask if you have any other known identities or aliases. So he is pranking the people who check his background stories by actually having these other identities. So if they fail to check his background and say that there's no Bubba Gravy, he's like, bullshit, go check. Everybody here knows about my Facebook account. He's done several of them over the years. John Doe and Johnny Doe was some of them, in his earlier deployments. But yeah, he gets more radical with his names every opportunity. One of my coworkers, he popped up on one of these chats a while back, and I was like, I think I know who that is. And finally, one of his comments let me know. Okay. You know what? I've been known to be wrenching in the background, listening to a live stream and commenting when I can make it back to make the comments.
Like Landon and Bear Rose are cousins, and then you've got the entire English family, which I think there's 47 of them, are in the chats on the Lone and National stuff. There are 47,000 Englishes. There's Wendy English, Don English, like Bluegrass Trucker English. It does nothing special. There's Englishes as far as the eye can see. And yes, Rush sucks, by the way, Pickle.
No.
Yes.
Rush is amazing. No. Rush. Bluegrass, Nickelback. Oh, God. I can't. What? Those guys are great. Okay. Maybe not Nickelback so much. Okay. But the other two, yes.
They all suck, Pickle.
Nope.
Rush has one song. Rush and Bluegrass are along the same lines. I don't dislike them musically. I don't like them for what they do. They sound fine. I know people like them. I don't. To me, they're the shits. I like one Rush song and maybe one Bluegrass song. That's about it.
Well, aren't they the ones that make something to hurt? The one that goes do 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 something like that. I can't remember the name of it.
Get out your
sound
guitar
everything.
and pick it. Come on.
I actually can play it. Jeez, I can't remember the name of the
Yeah.
song. It was a
No,
good one.
just
My
play
favorite.
Ghost Rider Pickle.
That's Dan's favorite song.
You're not invited if you don't play the guitar at least once from now on.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, I don't have.
Pick a song. Oh, he's got his cobalt drill
Oh, he's got his crappy
probably
guitar.
half broken.
Well, no,
Oh.
I'm just going to say that this right here is going to be involved in my next video I put out.
You
I
gonna
have a-
burn it?
Sir, I'm sorry.
What?
You know.
You're gonna burn it.
Yeah.
No.
Or well, no. That thing's gonna burn his shop down. You got it backwards. It's gonna catch on fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like DeWalt's. You know. They started the fire.
Now, hey, I could always go get a Makita or Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Those work.
Is awesome. That's my
Milwaukee
favorite.
works just fine. And Makita used to. I don't. As far as
Yeah.
I know, there's nothing wrong with Makita. They just have gone out of favor.
Exactly. I almost bought Makita, but ended up with Milwaukee because their tool brand and their like they have so many awesome, amazing, and they have an awesome M12 platform where they have all those cordless ratchets and everything. And I just feel like investing my money into that because the tools are just amazing from what I've seen. I mean, they look so handy. They got the right angle impact and everything.
What Makita has in other countries and what they have here is different.
I know.
Even like Ryobi, what Ryobi has in other countries, what
Oh.
they have here.
All right, we came back. It all froze for me for a minute.
I'm sorry about it. I think I talked over you there.
Well, to me, I like my Cobalt because price-wise,
check my
availability on batteries, the price on the replacement batteries, is one of the main things, and the warranty.
Yeah.
I mean, they put out a 5-year warranty. I save my receipt. If anything goes wrong, I take my receipt, go back to the store, and I'm walking out with a brand new one.
Cousin Mike said Cobalt is just as good as Heart from Walmart.
Oh no, Cobalt is actually okay.
Are they made
Think
by
about-
TTI or is it just no? Because they wouldn't be because TTI would be the stuff from Home Depot.
Yeah,
Okay.
TTI, Milwaukee, Ryobi,
Yeah.
A couple other ones too. I can't
Now,
remember.
can you name the 2 other tool brands that make Cobalt, but yet these 2 others are actually just one and 2 steps above Cobalt?
DeWalt. I don't know. DeWalt owns a lot now.
No, I can't. No, there's another. I'm so out of it at this point with who makes what anymore. I know there's only like 6 companies that own everything, but I can't remember the other company.
It's like you
What?
saying that there's so many like out there now. It's hard to choose. It's like
Right.
it's crazy.
And everybody, it's incestuous because you can buy one thing like Rigid and Rigid and Milwaukee share a lot of the same DNA with certain things, and other things there are huge differences. There's huge gaps.
Yeah.
It's very strange what is and isn't, and it's a lot of it is they're just selling you a name within
Right.
reason.
Now,
Yeah.
let me ask you this. How would you rate, would you rather have Milwaukee, Makita, or Flex?
Milwaukee for me personally, my experience, because I've never used a Makita or a Flex. So
From at this time, since if it was 20 years ago, I'd say Makita because they were
Yeah.
great when you started wrenching. But
Just
now
I've
I'm
used
gonna say
Makita
it's-
battery sanders, and they were first to have a battery-powered sander that was reliable.
Yeah, but it's Milwaukee
But
now because they
I like my Milwaukee one much better.
I know,
Yeah,
but I'm
cool.
just saying between
and
say Milwaukee,
Flex is too new for me to know much about them. To be honest,
me
with
too.
you.
That's how I feel about them too. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'll play like this. Flex and Cobalt is made by same company, Shervon. They also make the Ego brand of outdoor power equipment, and that's supposed to be the top of the line.
Well,
The 56 volt for me especially on the chainsaw, that rocks. Not a
Dude, you can't have
not as big
battery-
of a fan of their weed eater.
Shervon, like certain, I can't remember if they make that. Now you said the name, reminded me, but like Hitachi, Bosch, some Ingersoll Rand stuff, half of like Hart's line. Their DNA is all the same within reason, but I can't remember if it's Chevron that makes them or not. But the company that makes some of the products for those other companies is actually, a world-class tool maker.
Right. Well, actually, okay, Chevron, I know they make Ego, they make Flex, they make the Cobalt. Believe it or not, they actually make Skill.
Well, Skill doesn't rate any, but the Skill's like Porter Cable. Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah.
They fell behind.
TTI is the one that does like your rigid and
Ryobi in Milwaukee, and I know one or two others, I think.
So they make both store brands for Lowe's and Home Depot then?
No, they're opposites. Chevron makes
Oh,
that.
opposite companies. Okay.
TTI makes Milwaukee, Ryobi, and Rigid.
Yep.
And Ryobi has a lot of innovative tools, but they have
I just wish they would get more universal with their battery platforms. And I know that's been a topic. I think one of the first live streams I jumped on of yours, Mater, somebody had, I guess it was a 60-volt DeWalt, and they had bought a battery adapter that didn't want to work with their tool. That was you? That was the very first live stream of yours I jumped on.
Yep.
And
I did the video on that. I've actually got the DeWalt. It's the 60 Flex 20-volt air compressor. Okay.
so it'll take either battery.
No, it's the same battery, but depending upon how much power
Power it needs.
right, how much power it needs.
Talking about this
Right,
fella right here.
right,
I've got those. That's the 18 to 20.
right.
Yeah. This does not work with everything either.
No,
I've burned up
it's
2 of
back
those,
here.
and I've had to hotwire them because the little resistor inside of them goes bad.
right. But no, I want to get an adapter to try and use my Cobalt 24 volt, and the adapter would not work.
That's the one.
It wouldn't even slide on the DeWalt compressor.
Wouldn't physically fit the device. Yeah, that's right.
Right. And even when I got the device, actually modified the device itself, actually modified the air compressor where it would take it, it still wouldn't even work with it.
Some of these are smarter devices where there's extra tabs in some of those batteries that they need a signal from.
Right. And that's
Whether
the thing,
it's temperature or voltage,
right.
something
Yeah,
to tell the device. There's a low voltage alert that will tell the device, hey, we need to shut down.
Right.
And that's with adapters, you don't always get that extra connection.
When I'm out here in the shop, you've probably noticed there's a lot of DeWalt tools. I don't own any of them. These are
I
all
see
like-
some yellow and black back there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a planer and a table saw up here too. There's everything here is yellow and black, but you can only buy that here. Like that, seriously, DeWalt is like the only tool brand you can get here on the island. I had to order Milwaukee all the way from, I think Ontario is where it came from, Home Depot. Like it is ridiculous. Like if a battery went bad, I could not buy it here on the island. I would have to order it. I can't get one here because I've had DeWalt tools. I got the best of the best. And
You can only buy DeWalt tools there, but you can't get the battery there.
Exactly. They failed on me, the DeWalt. So I said, well, I'm not going to spend $400 on a drill again. I'm going to try a different and see how it goes.
Amazon?
There's
Wait,
there's
you
also
probably
a
don't get
split.
Amazon where you're at.
Yeah.
You can't
Well, I don't-
get tough stuff on Amazon. You got to be careful. That's the thing.
and I don't know if it's the same up or where you guys are at, but there's a dividing line. Nobody in a shop in Michigan uses DeWalt. And DeWalt is very much a contractor or trade tool.
Right.
He's very much an industrial or mechanic tool.
So if he has garage doors, it's Milwaukee, but if it's outdoors, it's
If you're
DeWalt.
building a house, you tend to have DeWalt. If you're working in the house on a car, you tend to have Milwaukee.
And that's what
They're
I'm going to
very
be doing. And
polarized.
I everything.
And I get that.
I-
I've seen that a little bit, but I'm one of those people. I work on enough indoor and outdoor stuff. I really don't, as long as I can buy a tool that works.
Right.
Although I did just think, you 6%, didn't we just do your 7-Up or 6-Up?
Make
For
6
your
up yours. Yeah, make 6 up yours.
I've already got a yellow truck. We need to do a spin off of the DeWalt for this truck.
No, you drive the big Twinkie.
The big Twinkie.
You have a white interior. You need to paint make sure the interior is white. Just call it the big Twinkie.
The big I
Well, I
like
could put green seats in it and call it the fucking school bus, but
Well, no, it's you put the white seats in it for the cream filling. It's the big
that'd
Twinkie.
be part of the cream filling.
That's
I'd have to
fine.
have a tan.
You'll be fine.
It's got a raisin in there somewhere.
Well, you do whatever you want. You can
No,
put
it-
nuts in it if you want. I don't care, but
Hey,
yeah, it's the
6%.
big Twinkie.
If he's inside of it, it's just got one big nut in there.
Yeah.
That's like the old Mounds. And what's the Mounds and the other?
Almond
Almond
Joy's
Joy.
got nuts.
Almond Joy's got nuts. Mounds don't.
Yep.
My wife had a friend that had twins, and then one's a boy and one's a girl, and that was their outfit for several Halloweens in a row. She thought it was hilarious.
My
We just went along with it.
ex-wife's father had he made a X-ray. It was a cardboard box, like a washer box, and it said free breast exams, and that was his costume for Halloween this year.
I think I've seen his picture
You could have.
on the internet. Stay away from this.
Well, hey, the one I liked was it said FBI, female body inspector.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just as old. Y'all have heard me say this one a few times. It's did y'all hear about the time I was kidnapped by mimes? They did unspeakable things to me.
Oh God! Enough with the dad
Oh,
joke.
man,
Look
no.
what you started. Look
I've
what
got
you
some new ones
started.
coming. I just forgot them right now because we're 2 hours into this.
No. See, Junkyard on our stream does these shitty dad jokes, and then Pickle started on his last live stream. Now you started that shit. Enough with the crap.
No, I've done them on my normal long forums, as well as my you've seen some of my banners. There we go.
Oh,
There-
Pickle's trying to take notes of all this.
Dual fuel corn liquor, the only corn liquor with a proof mark and an octane rating.
They call
you-
temporary
you
blindness.
clearly are the big Twinkie drivers.
Please
So.
drink responsibly. And then the other one is dual fuel corn liquor. We'd like to remind you to drink and online shop responsibly. Don't blame us when the wife sees the UPS truck.
Hey, like I was gonna, Mater, you may be able to speak to this. I've had good luck buying stuff at Discount Tool, and I don't know, that might be a good option for you, Pickle. If you find the right thing, they might have a better price than even Home Depot. You gotta shop for it.
Where's that at?
What was it you were saying?
Discount Tool, Jersey Discount Tool.
Okay.
JD.
JD.
That'll be it.
It's been good to me, but yeah.
But I've watched some live streams with that guy in it,
Mm-hmm.
and personally, I wouldn't want to deal with him.
He comes off as a bit of a dick, to be nice, but I've had no trouble.
He's coming off as one, that kind of. And it's like his attitude and everything is like, nope, I wouldn't want to deal with him.
That's what a lot of people in this northern eastern area act like. So it's not abnormal for me to see that. But
Okay.
I've had no trouble with anything I bought from him. The shipping's been good, and I've had no trouble with any of the services. So
Right.
No, who was that again?
JD Tico,
And he sells
Jersey.
tools online?
yeah, Jersey Discount Tool or Tools.
Okay.
And their
I
prices
jumped
are
on
right
live around just a little after lunch today, and there was one of the guys on that live from the No Name Nationals group that was also had a Amazon.
It's probably Renegade Garage.
There you go.
Yeah,
But
he does his in the middle of the day. I always miss him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, I jumped on for a little bit and I just let it play. I even answered a couple phone calls and emails and left the office and completely come back, but
Yeah.
I let it run.
But let's
Well,
just say that a
Hey,
couple years
phone call.
ago, I was actually watching a live stream, and JD Tico and someone else, they were actually up on panel on someone's live stream.
Yeah.
Those two people were going back and forth fighting with each other where nobody else, and including the host, could say something.
Well,
That's where you need the
making no bones about it. He's likely
blue
an
wrenches
ass-
to boot them out.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, if that's the way he's going to be, it's like, nope.
Yeah, and then I've
Yeah,
thought
you-
about looking at Text Choice, which is another company like JD Tico down south. They have the same kind of thing. And it's so weird because like you're in the tool, so there's so much infighting in the tool YouTube game. It's so hard to, and everybody goes back on their word. What they said 6 months ago and what they said today they're night and day different. And it's like, what are you? It's not like you're simply saying, oh, I thought about what I said, or I started using this tool and it's different. It seems shallow and kind of fake.
Now, Gear Wrench, I know, is supposed to be a good tool brand out there. I know.
Yeah, some of their stuff has been pretty good. I've had
And
one.
they probably do stand behind their product. And this is a gear wrench here. Notice it has no wrench part in the gear.
They'll send it back.
There we go.
No, I mean, I had an
Throw
8
completely
millimeter.
out. First time I used it.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
I had an 8 mil long reach, and it started stripping out. And other than the fact that it was during COVID, they didn't have them. It took 3 months to get it. I had no trouble actually getting it once they had it.
Now, what's the company that you can, if you buy it from them, you can actually take a picture of it and email it to? Is that Gear Wrench? You actually take a picture of it?
Gear Wrench, I want to say Sunex. I think Capri, and I know Tecton do that.
Tecton, that's the one I was thinking of. Tecton, if you get those, if it breaks, you actually take a picture of it, email it to them. They will mail you a new one. Like the
And
next
that's
day.
what happened with Gear Wrench. When I broke that Gear Wrench, I just simply sent them a photo, filled out the paperwork. And like I said, if it hadn't been during COVID, I would have had it in probably a week, but it took 3 months because they were out of them literally. They couldn't get them.
Right.
That
Tecton's in
tells me I
Michigan.
need to.
And Tecton's in
Sears
Michigan.
also does that.
Yeah, if you buy from Tecton online, you get 10% back whatever you buy, so it cycles itself. No, I got to start buying stuff from them because they've gotten a lot better.
Okay.
They used to be MIT, Michigan Industrial Tool, and they were shit. Like they were that crap. They were the crap that they sold at the auto parts store, and they're
That's old crap, but they warranted their crap.
Yeah.
That's
well,
kind of like
no, they've done so much to change and improve themselves, and they've started making tools in the United States. They tell you
That's
where they
good.
made the tools. They tell you what the materials are, how the warranties work. They've got some awesome toolboxes. They've really stepped up their game. I'm sorry, I'm drying out, so I'm getting a little yucky.
Well,
No,
I know right now.
Guys, I'm just yawning because it's almost midnight.
all right. Well, thanks
But-
for stopping by, Pickle.
No,
I sent you the invite today, and I'm glad you did stop by because you always make the conversation a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
If
Well,
it was just me and Mater here, we'd still be arguing over Battleship Texas stuff or something.
I'm not going
Now,
anywhere.
it wouldn't be arguing or it would be, trying to get you to get off your lazy butt and go see her before she's out of dry
I've seen her
dock.
from across but that tour.
So now hold on.
Yeah.
Now hold on. You guys are trying to see a battleship. Pickle's gonna go see something else before he leaves Newfoundland.
Oh yeah.
Is he going to go see the submarine that sank?
No, he's got to take the Triton down to go see the Titanic.
Oh, okay.
You know what, Mater? Honestly,
They could have used some of those water dummies in that for a while.
Yeah.
if it could be
They
done,
had water dummies in that for a while.
if it could be
Man,
done,
they had some water dummies when they finished.
Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead, Pickle.
I was trying to say, if it could be done safely to go see the Titanic, and yeah, you didn't implode, I think that'd be cool as shit to go down there and see that because I love the story behind the ship and everything. But yeah, I won't be ever be doing that because, well, two main reasons: A, I won't ever afford that, and B, why would I be that stupid?
Give me a
Even
couple
in 10 years from now, when they improve the technology, there's going to be less of the Titanic left to see.
Yep.
And it's still going to be expensive.
It should just be, in my opinion. A lot of people argue with this. I think it should just be marked as a gravesite and left alone now. It's
They've recovered what they could from it. They've made some great movies about it.
There's too much. There's still too much money involved. So
Yeah.
But
It won't be-
Pickle,
There's other wrecks that are closer to the surface that you could probably just scuba dive to go see.
oh yeah,
you can do
Yeah.
that. Like you can do that
Well,
in the Great Lakes. You can do that all
Titanic-
over the Great Lakes.
Yep. The Titanic sister
And that
ship.
Greatly
only
preserves the wreckage.
The Titanic sister ship Britannic is only like in 400-foot deep water. That's it. And you can literally go dive to it with like a scuba tank. That's it.
Yes, but one of the highest grossing movies of all time, all the history, all the BS, it's not
Yeah.
going to go away.
It's too bad because I mean the story of the Britannic is fascinating as well. I mean,
It is.
No, it is.
I know.
Um,
Now, one thing
I'm
you gotta
still
look
injured
at
from my
is-
scuba dive, and I only went to 28 feet. My ears are still not right.
Well, what I was going
So-
to say is, okay, if you look at how deep the Titanic is, they've actually gone and used a different type of submersible, and they've actually gone down further and found shipwrecks from World War II. And right
That were
now,
deeper.
a lot deeper, almost twice as deep. And right now, they have found the Samuel B. Roberts.
deepest ship in
And
the world.
yep, that's it. And there's the aircraft carrier. I'm trying to remember. There was another one that was lost during the same battle. They have yet to find that one, and they're thinking that one's even at a deeper depth.
Yeah, me too, Elder.
And I know that there's was it 2 or 3 of the aircraft carriers the Japanese lost during the Battle of Midway? They hadn't been found yet.
A lot.
Oh,
yeah.
that's one thing
Japanese, you have to
I-
question if they actually lost them or they just had to evac and bring them somewhere. You know,
No, those the Japanese, they had 4 flat tops sink during the Battle of Midway.
Yeah, some of that
It
stuff will
can't be
never be
found.
found. It's broken up too much, or it's fallen into something you can't really search through. Or
there we go.
Me,
You know, I agree with auto salvage outlaws there. You know, in a way, there are a grave site.
Right.
There's the people that went down with the ship. And then there's the exploration, the military history of it.
well,
You know, at least we know where they're at now.
Once you've found, and once you found it, and once you've gotten as much out of the information as to learn about what happened, and why.
What,
and
why,
leave-
and how.
exactly. I'm same thing. 6%. That's what I think too.
And honestly, I'm all for people doing whatever the hell they want. Just send down a robot, because then you're not putting anybody in danger. You're not spending stupid money for nothing.
Right?
You can't see the damn thing anyway because you're in a fucking
pitch
a
black.
Coke can. You're not,
Yeah, I
seeing,
mean-
you're not seeing it any better than you're seeing it better with the robot than you are out the window. If it even has
GoPro has better optics than you do.
But now I do know they have, one of the ships that they've actually been looking for. They did actually find not that long ago. It's been the Indianapolis, and everything. I know they found the Johnston, and we're talking within the last 10 years. But yeah, I mean the one thing about with going and finding these shipwrecks and everything is that way they can actually get a visual on them to see what condition they're in and give the family, knowledge and everything.
Closure.
Right. Give them the closure they need.
And you
But-
got to
and, like,
the
auto
technology
salvage is-
jumps so often that these things we're always going to keep finding stuff that as long as things don't get meddled with too much, humanity is always going to keep improving.
Yeah.
We always have that strive to keep making the newest thing. We have the great ability to fix our own screw ups if you get out of our way and let us do it.
Yep.
As much as we destroy, we make 10 times better stuff.
Especially in a free market economy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stop trying to guide things and let things happen. You know, that kid that invented the garbage cow in the ocean, he didn't do that because some government paid him to. He did it because he thought it was the right thing to do.
Right?
There's always going to be crap, but there's always going to be more good than crap.
Yeah.
I say, like auto salvage is saying, that stuff needs to go back to the families or go back down there. If it was something part of the ship, the flatware, the silverware, the ceramics actually do real well at depth, and stuff doesn't grow on them very well. That belonged to the ship. Doesn't belong to an individual. Yes, they did bring back some shoes and some other combs and stuff. I've actually seen the exhibit. Actually, I think I saw the Titanic exhibit in Idaho Falls, Idaho, more than a decade ago.
Yeah, I
But-
saw it when it was here.
And some of it makes great history, and there's no telling who that particular, whether it was a silver comb that went in a lady's hair. There's no real telling unless it had a great identifying mark on it, who it belonged to. But it's a part of history, and that's what actually helps humanize it.
Yeah.
What if, like, my son's 11, he hasn't seen the Titanic movie. That wouldn't interest him. If we went to the Titanic exhibit, something like that would help him connect with that more as a human, that humans lost their lives. It wasn't just a ship that sank and here's the plates that were on the ship or the chandelier or something that was on the ship. You got to humanize it to people still.
Well, I mean, there's 1,500 people down there inside that ship somewhere. Well, maybe not anymore. They might be long dissolved, but that's their resting place. That's where they came.
That is the resting place wherever that they dissolved it.
But the other part of it is, what about like the Jacques Cousteau's and the guys who find that 1700s and 1600 shipwrecks, all the gold in it? That's
That was that gold.
his grave. But that
there are people walking the shores in Florida with metal detectors every day.
Yeah.
That they might be finding somebody's wedding ring that was lost 10 minutes ahead of them, but they're after some precious metals. That's why they got a metal detector.
Yeah. So there's always going to be people doing certain things for certain reasons. It's just, where do you draw the line of what's acceptable and what's not?
True.
Yeah.
I mean, we shouldn't be putting government money into it, but I understand that when there was an acceptable, hey, we might be able to rescue these people. They have 4 days worth of oxygen on board, and of course, there was other experts already saying.
Yeah, it sounds like everybody that knew what was going on and actually understood
We'll send some people out there to look.
Well, it sounds like from what I've been hearing, it sounds like everybody that knew or knows how that stuff works, when they heard that blip, they knew they were toast, and that was like within a couple hours of being down.
Yeah. From what I've heard,
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Did anybody ever know what the knocking noises were? Well, they clearly heard.
I think.
Oh,
there's so many videos on it, I can't really pull up.
I believe it was when the ship imploded.
well, no, they were thinking that some of the knocking sounds that they heard was actually machinery on other ships.
Could have been.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
The water does funny things with audio stuff.
yeah, it does. That's why I was like,
Now, one theory as far as the sinking of the Titanic itself is that she was actually kind of doomed even before she left England.
I've heard of this before because of the coal bunker fire, right?
Correct. And that's the main thing, is that the steel on that, because that's where the iceberg hit. So we're talking about, a hot, piece of metal, and all of a sudden just that cold, the ice and everything. And that's what was more of a shock.
Yeah, there's actually a really good photo of that. Like, you can see the black charred section of the hull.
Also, like a stress fracture from the completely dissimilar material, completely dissimilar material conditions coming together instantly.
Right. Plus, they also, the fact is that some of the material that the iron and everything was made out of was not really up to standard. It was kind
More of a wrought iron versus a steel.
Yeah, kind of like a below par as far as what they should have been using to save.
That's kind of what we keep seeing in the wind industry. Sometimes with the gearboxes, is the manufacturers will take advantage of a fact that maybe an engineer forgets to spec a certain material be cast into a certain metal, and they'll just use a lower grade until they get caught.
Yep.
And of course, China likes to do that to us, and then they'll say, well, just replace the gearbox, buy a new one from us, buy a new one from somebody. Well, there's also the thousands of man hours and stuff it takes. You have to buy another gearbox, ship it from across seas, ship it across rail, then put it on a truck, ship it to the site, take a crane, dismantle half the tower just to put a new gearbox in it, because somebody decided to cheat somebody by 0.1% in chromium and whatever, some other metal, just to get away with that. They've
Right.
done that to a lot of manufacturers over the years, and it's sad to see. So the wind industry gets a bad rap over buying subpar materials over a manufacturer that just takes advantage of somebody forgetting to add that to the specifications that this is a required
Right.
material.
Well, it's all the one thing. It's always about the Benjamins. How much money can you save compared to how much you got to cost?
Yeah,
And
they
that's
got
that's the way it is for
guaranteed people
anything.
buying more gearboxes from them.
It's
Right.
also possible. Well, like even with the auto manufacturers, they do what's called a silent recall all the time. If the recall isn't going to equalize to what the lawsuits would be, they won't recall the car. That's one option. And then if you take your vehicle in a cylinder warranty, like they did with the Explorers, the back hatch glass would crack, and they would quietly replace that stuff when you brought it in for an oil change or some kind of service and not even tell you.
Not even tell you, just
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a silent recall. That's not uncommon. It's there's
it kind
always
of does you some good to occasionally bring your vehicle back to the main, the dealership
Yeah.
if they do it, it's all
if they're willing to do it.
well, it's also dirty because if there's a defective part of my car and I paid you all this money, I expect to find out about it. It doesn't mean I'm in a hole, as long as it doesn't kill me. Like when I was at the Ford dealer in right around 2000, they had a ton of Ford was using torsion bars in their 4x4s at that time. I want to say we had a dozen vehicles come through where the torsion bars snapped while people were driving.
Wow.
And it almost killed one guy. Like, I mean, really, he was messed up bad. But I never saw a recall on it, and then it just magically nobody ever mentioned it again. But they were snapping, like literally snapping when people were driving.
Was it a particular side or just poor heat treat type
It's
stuff?
been so long I don't remember.
Okay.
It was at least a dozen of them came in, and they just snapped, and half of them, or a certain percentage of them, were bad wrecks, and some were they were driving and snapped. So.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I say I don't know how new Ford stuff is. I don't know if they're that
Well, no,
great.
this is also 20 years ago, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
I remember Fords coming in, especially fleet vehicles, and they would just say, "Hey, it's got a rough idle."
Well,
If the vehicle was under a
every-
certain,
Yeah, and every car manufacturer has a problem car, has some
Right.
issue with a vehicle, especially when they launch them. There's a joke around here: you don't want to buy a car on a Monday morning or a Friday afternoon. That was made on a
Yep.
Monday morning or Friday afternoon
Oh,
because
yeah.
you're getting a shitty car that either they came in Monday morning hungover from the weekend, or they got paid on Friday at lunch and they're drunk on Friday afternoon. So you don't want a car then either.
or they were just ready to get alpha work on Friday. They don't care what they're just trying to clock out.
I've worked alongside more than my share of union auto workers, and in some instances, especially the retirement league guys, trust me, there was some beer 30 lunches. To be nice.
Beer 30 lunches, huh?
Yeah.
They got paid. They're going to go have something on lunch, huh?
Yep.
Three in that hour they're on lunch, and then they come back all hammered up.
Right. But then, like what 6% is saying is the fact is that any manufacturer, I don't care which one it is, when they roll out a brand new, the very first year,
The first model of whatever it is.
first model, when they come out with a brand new model, first year, actually the first 2 or 3 years, if you ever go back and look, they're going to say, "Oh, well, we got a problem with this that we got to fix," and then so on and so on. And that's why, I know everybody wants to give me crap about my little Dodge Caliber.
I'm
But
just
then-
doing Gratiot. So.
Oh,
Right,
that
but
was
Right. But then you've got to look at,
20 minutes ago.
the first Dodge Caliber, it came out in what, 06? So 06, 07, there was probably, problems with it.
Problems.
And everybody was complaining about how crappy the car was. Well,
By 08, they improved it.
right. So by the time I got mine, which is an 09, they've got all the problems, the bugs worked out, and they've got it where there's
Yeah.
no problems with it anymore.
There's a couple of factors. Like I've done a lot of prototype work, and you're never going to fix every bug, even with developing a car over 3 and 5 years, because you're never going to put that many things in people's hands. You have problems with assembly line stuff at first, manufacturing of parts at first, fitment, but also like the Caliber. I'm not making fun of you, but that's a price point car. This is what we're going to sell this for. So you have to figure out how we're going to make this and make money.
Right.
And they don't want to. They don't want to make a perfect car.
No, but
it shouldn't outlast. If it's a $20,000 car, it shouldn't outlast the $30,000 car.
Well, to an extent, but it's also this is as much as we're spending, and so you better make the car, and this is what you're going to make it to. I mean, Mercedes does that. Like they're smaller, their price. Everybody has something like that, so you always have to be careful when you buy stuff. You really just have to look at it.
Now, 6%. Let me ask you this: do you know what car Caliber replaced?
Polo Dan.
I think it was the Avenger or the Stratus.
Nope.
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Believe it or not, it replaced the Dodge Neon.
That was a bad choice.
Pinto.
But the thing about it is, some of the stuff from the Neon carried over.
Oh,
and
a lot of stuff does. Like
Right.
I don't like when you buy a Mustang. A Mustang was also a Fairmont, was also a Falcon, was also a Capri, was also an LTD, was also a Grand or Marquis, because the chassis pan's all the same. There's a lot of crossbreeding.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to have a vehicle that shares a lot of parts with the other vehicles because they're going to work out some of those bugs better.
Yeah, well,
Right.
with the GM stuff that I've done, they always called it badge engineering because you weren't doing that much different. You were putting your badge's flair onto this chassis. No, those Neons were actually a pretty solid little car.
Yeah, but I know, was it the Jeep Patriot? Basically has the same engine and drivetrain.
It's a front-wheel drive car. I don't consider that a real Jeep, but that's neither here nor there. I would, and I don't mean that funny. I wouldn't buy that anyway, no matter what badge was on it. I don't think that's something that I would be.
What was that one?
Entertaining.
Patriot.
It's like a Caliber but square. It has a fake Jeep badge on it, and they're so dinky. It's not. I like cars that they're expressions of whatever they are,
Right.
whether it be a Volkswagen or a Jeep or a Toyota or a Ford or whatever it is. I want something that's interesting. I don't want to just drive square box A.
Right. Now, for me, like I said, I had two choices at the time. One was Caliber, and the other was the Dodge Nitro. Now the Nitro is the bigger one. It's rear-wheel drive, V6. It has a power where no problem pulling a trailer. The only problem was that it was about $3,000 more, and they were wanting about $1,500 more down payment and about $150 more a month in monthly payments on it.
Yeah, that's nuts. No, and Mater, at the end of the day, you got to do whatever you're comfortable with. It doesn't matter what I think or anybody thinks. If you're happy with whatever you bought, it's all really matters.
Right. I mean, I'm happy with.
You may have got the golden Caliber, you got the one that's not defective.
I mean, I got almost 155,000 miles on it, and it's still going strong.
And the other thing is, like, you might actually maintain and properly do things for your car, and everybody else that's having problems, they don't change your oil, they don't do their maintenance, they don't put tires on, they don't pay attention to the noises the car's making until it makes a noise and it breaks.
Right.
So extra damage.
Or the person brought it into the dealership because it was making that noise, and the dealership says, "Hey, trade that thing in." The dealership trades it all, gives them something new to drive off the dealership, so they got a good experience out of that car. And then the next guy that buys it, he got a couple months out of it before he has catastrophic failure because the dealership didn't want to split that case of that transmission open and rebuild it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and also the thing is, a lot of people don't understand, just because your wheel bearing went bad, they likely the other side's going to go bad soon as well because you're putting extra force on it.
Right.
Ball joints can go bad, and either wear and rubber parts can go bad because it's a chain reaction. One little thing puts extra stress on everything in that general vicinity, and a lot of people don't get that.
Right.
They understand that's why it's called routine maintenance. That's
Yep.
why it's called repairing.
Gotta look at stuff.
Replacing thing. There's a line where no, you are a parts changer or you're a mechanic, but a lot of times just fixing part A isn't going to fix all of your problems.
Right. It's just like for me on my car. I know that I've got front suspension on there that needs to get changed. And the biggest problem that I've got is having the finances available to buy the stuff. I've actually gone and looked, and I found where I can get both struts. I can get both lower control arms. I think inner and outer tie rod ends, and the sway bar links and everything for about $250. And I can do it all myself.
Which
All right,
still
fellas.
beats.
I gotta get off here for the night because I gotta
You
bring
know
my
what?
dog.
It's probably a good time for us to wrap it up.
Yeah, I've actually got a lot of things I got to do. I got to upload one of my shop tours is premiering tomorrow. I got to make sure it processes.
Yeah.
YouTube.
I haven't
I-
edited long form footage in weeks.
I gotta
Yeah,
go
but
ahead.
I got one video I got to get made tonight.
Yeah, I learned how to use DaVinci Resolve since Sunday because my old editing software couldn't do the long form interview I did. So I learned a new program this week.
Good.
Sometimes that's a huge accomplishment and it takes a lot of time, and sometimes it just flows.
Yeah.
Hopefully you got it right.
Yep.
I think it's going to be great. The old program OpenShot was great, but it
And
couldn't.
you've just been cranking out videos left and right.
I'm trying to get somewhere.
I unfortunately have a full-time job that requires a lot of my attention.
And this is my full-time job, if you want to call it that. So
Well,
All right,
open-
guys.
I
OpenShot
hope
can
it
take
becomes
an
a
hour.
full-time job for you.
yeah,
All right, guys. I
Yeah,
And
got.
you're well on your way, brother.
I'm getting there, man. Take it easy, Bickle.
Yeah.
Take it
see
easy,
you.
everybody.
Have a good night. God bless.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Oh, I think I'm going to jump off as well, gentlemen. It was good to talk to you. I will be
All right.
yapping my
We'll
butt
let
off
you out.
tomorrow. So I'll see
All right.
y'all. My Maters, you're doing like your live stream. I'm doing my live stream tomorrow.
Yeah, you're doing yours at 6 Central. I'm going on at 7. So
Okay.
I'll see everybody.
I'll pop in on yours before I go live.
I would say
It
I'd
looks
pop
like
in on
also a
yours
good day with
afterwards.
Tuesday, so I get both of y'all.
And I'd say I'd pop in on yours afterwards, but my live streams go 3 and 4 hours, so I don't think that's gonna work. So
I was fixing to say, I mean, we've averaged 2 and 3 sometimes, but we started off with like 10. So
yeah, well, take it easy, everybody. Definitely check out good that you're here. Check out everybody's live. It's been a long day. Take it easy. Thanks for having me on, bud.
all right, thanks.
Bye, everybody.
All right,
Pickle,
well, I
I'm going to
appreciate-
end the live if you want to chat with me.
Yeah, well, like I said, I appreciate you having me on. So you're going to end it?
I'm going to end the live if you want to chat.
Okay.
Back channel.
Okay.
All right, ending broadcast.